Good evening, Sina streamers. We're back playing Love is Strange tonight. This is the Life is Strange visual novel fan game. I've done 2 runs so far, started with Kate Marsh, moved on to Chloe Price, and tonight I've decided I'm going for the chase. I'm going after Victoria. So, it's time to start a new one. But no, we don't need the tutorial. And I'm actually going to make a save file after this so that I don't have to do the complete beginning every time, because it takes about 40 minutes. Insert groan here. We're just gonna get up this time. Guess I'd better get up. The air is a little chilly as I push the covers off, and one glance in my mirror is enough to tell me that I look like a total zombie. In other words, it's a typical morning for me. Someone's playing music. The people I share a dormitory with are worse than roosters. Oh well, at least I'm up. And I shouldn't make it a habit to be late to class anyway. I stretch out, yawning, as I make my way to the window to feel the sunlight on my skin. Lisa seems to be enjoying it too. She's grown like crazy over the past year. My mom would be so proud. Wow, it's a whole year already. I'm so glad that I came back to Arcadia Bay. And not just for Blackwell Academy, although I'd be lying if I said that wasn't a huge part. I liked Seattle, but it never really felt like home. Arcadia Bay is the place I grew up in, the place where I made all of my best memories and had so many adventures, each one as different as every new day. Pirates and superheroes. This was the best place to grow up. Well, I'm biased, but I really do feel that way. I don't want to sell Seattle short, of course. I lived there for 5 long years. I really do miss my friends there, and my parents. I was so glad to see them this summer. But I know that coming back here was the right choice for me. I'm technically an adult now, which is something I'm still getting used to. I definitely still feel like a kid in a lot of ways. I'm lucky to have my parents' support, and my scholarship, which I've managed somehow to keep in my 2nd year. Go Max! And I can't forget one of the most important parts. Blackwell's brought me back to Chloe Price, my best friend. It took a little while, but we picked up right where we left off. Actually, we did even better, because we didn't exactly part under the best circumstances. But the greatest thing about Chloe is that she's brutally honest with her feelings. Those first few weeks were seriously awkward, but we got through it. I'm determined to be there for her now, even if I couldn't before. Luckily, someone was there for Chloe while I was gone. Rachel Amber. She's totally gorgeous, and she's a really great person too. She's almost too perfect. But she's one of those girls that's just impossible to hate, even though Victoria Chase seems to have found a way. At first I thought Rachel and Chloe were total opposites, but they're really more like wolves of the same pack. Let's just say that knowing the both of them is like being accessory to every incident of dubiously criminal mischief in the Bay. But even if I didn't have Chloe and Rachel, I've got other friends here too. Dana, Stella, Alyssa. Actually, I can count almost everyone on my floor as a friend. Even Brooke, who is, abrasive. It took some getting used to, but it's just her way of being friendly. Pretty impressive for a shy geek like me, am I right? Take Kate Marsh, for example. She's one of the very first people who befriended me at Blackwell. Kate is probably the most kind-hearted person I've ever met, and she's an incredibly talented artist. She's one of the only students at Blackwell that unabashedly wears her heart, or I guess her religion, on her sleeve. I know that she gets flack about it sometimes, but I think it's really cool that she works so hard to create a comfortable environment for other religious and/or abstinent students, even if I'm not in her Bible study group or anything. I get along with almost everybody, except for my neighbor across the hall. Victoria Chase is the head of the Vortex Club, with all of the reputation that goes with it. Even after a year, I'm not entirely sure what the Vortex Club even does, aside from underage drinking. I've heard that being in it is good for your resume, but I never see them doing anything to actually improve or benefit the school outside of partying. Oh well, it's not really my place to judge, even though Victoria herself does a lot of judging. Hasn't she heard the old adage about not saying anything at all if you've got nothing nice to say? It's hard not to wither under the ice queen stare of hers, or feel totally lame in the presence of her $6,000 camera. She has a great eye though, I'll give her that. I can't spend all morning daydreaming by the window though. I've gotta go get dressed. I don't want to miss my first class. especially because Mick's dog told us last week that they had a surprise coming up on Monday. I wonder what it'll be. They're one of the best teachers I've ever had. They're always supportive of my work and always smiling. I knew Blackwell Academy took on the best of the best, but I had to experience it to believe it. Mick's dog is so freaking cool. I'd better hurry up and get going. Then maybe I can find some time to hang out with my friends before class starts. I have a feeling that Chloe and Rachel are going to laugh at my generic brand t-shirt and jeans like they always do, but I've come to terms with my style. I should make sure I have everything I need before I head out. Let's get my bag! I can't forget my bag, and I don't want to forget my camera either. I'm glad it's managed to survive this long. It's really old, and not in a cute faux vintage way. It's legit ancient. But that's what I wanted, a total timelessness to my photos. As I slide my camera into my bag, I look at the little dough pin that Kate gave me a few days ago. It's a warm bronze color. She said that she found it in a bookshop in Portland, and that she thought I would like it. I do, but I'm just flattered that she thinks of me at all. Bracelets. Chloe gave me one of her punky spiked bracelets a few months ago. I'm clumsy, so I thought I'd instantly take my eye out by wearing it, but it turns out that the secret to thrashing is that the studs are actually pretty dull. I guess I really am ready for the mosh pit now, shaka bra. The bracelet that I slide on next to it is all woven rainbow threads. Rachel gave it to me. I was pretty surprised when she did. Rachel's got like a zillion friends. Maybe she makes them for everybody? Phone time. I can't leave my room without a quick scan at my feed. The modern equivalent of reading the morning newspaper. That's the millennial condition, I suppose. Blah blah blah. Of course, Victoria's already posted her morning mirror selfie. Liked by 28 people. Posted 5 minutes ago. But she does look really nice in that cashmere sweater. I'd hit like too, but I know she's not interested in my approval. She might never wear that sweater again if I did. Nerd cooties. I'm kidding. I think I need to stop sinking to her level and being all judgy. I think I've got everything, but I have a feeling I'm forgetting something. Oh! My journal! I can't leave without it. I take it just about everywhere. I guess it's a little old-fashioned of me, and I know that it's just getting a blog would be way more secure, but I'm used to writing in it every single day. That's not true. Let's read it. Again. September 3rd. New school year, new journal. Same old me. I gotta say that finally filling my last journal up all the way made me kinda sad. It lasted me the whole year, and completing that last page felt like, well, like closing a book. But it was really satisfying too. I overstuffed it with memories, and all of the amateur scrapbooking I did in it, so I'm always going to have something to look at when I want to relive all the good times I had here at Blackwell during my first year. Silly drawing of Kate. I put it in a super secret place, hint to self in case I made it way too secret and I forget, Dorothea Lange, and then went out to buy a new notebook, and that's this one. So hello, new journal. I'm Max Caulfield. I'm 17, at least for the next couple of weeks. I'm a wannabe photographer. I also like to play guitar and doodle. Pretty basic, huh? I don't know what this year is going to be like, but if it's anything like my first year here, it's going to be awesome. Fingers crossed. Time to get going. It's 9:42 a.m. and I don't want to miss my first class. I'll update later with all the deets. September 5th. I lied about updating later. Oops. In my defense, the last 2 days have been a whirlwind. I'm still trying to get used to my schedule, and I wanted to catch up with all the people I didn't get to see over the summer. I lucked out, and I share a lot of classes with my friends this semester. I'm so glad I convinced Chloe to take photography. She's in a bunch of science classes too, so I think she's very glad for an easy art class. Rachel's in my photography class too, and so is Kate, and so is Victoria, which should surprise approximately no one. Of course, I have a shit ton of homework already, but that's par for the course. I'm actually pretty happy about it. I know it's weird, but over the summer I missed everything about Blackwell, and that includes the homework. I'm pretty sure I won't be seeing that once I actually get started on it, but let me live in blissful ignorance for a little bit, okay? Drawing of Victoria with devil horns and a crown, I guess. September 8th. The Vortex Club's already wallpapering the entire school on their party posters. Rachel's trying her best to get me to go, lol. I can picture it now. Me, wedged into a corner, with a migraine from the music, wondering why the floor is all sticky. No thanks. Chloe already got her first attention. Highly impressive. I sneaked in snacks for her through a window like a ninja. I had to stand in a bush and signal her. I am nothing if not an amazing friend. Hello, Moy! Kate and I have a tea date set up for today. I'm actually waiting for her to finish getting ready, and then we're off to the races. It'll be really awesome to finally sit down and have a good talk with her and catch up after summer vacation. Dramatic drawings of Max with a gun and Chloe with a cigarette, no, a joint, and a weird perspective lighthouse. You slept all day, I wanted to go to sleep, but I'm like, no, I want to play this. I'm gonna romance Victoria, dang it. I got to talk to Mom and Dad today. I had to coach them through getting the video chat set up for the millionth time, but it was so nice. I miss them a lot already. They're really proud of me for keeping my scholarship into year 2. It feels so good to know that they've totally got my back on my quest to become a real artiste. I would never have been able to come here at all if it weren't for them. And Kate's just texted me that she's ready to leave, so GG. A drawing of what I presume is a phone? I don't know. I really don't know. I can't tell. Maybe. I keep thinking it's like a single-serve popcorn microwave bag or something. I don't know. I can't figure out what this particular drawing is. September 10th. I should have guessed that I'd butt heads with Victoria Chase eventually. It was just a matter of time. Sigh. I thought after all the whininess last year, she might have had some kind of realization during the summer and adjusted her attitude, but nope. It was for the dumbest reason too, not that she's ever had a good reason to pick on me. She tried to accuse me of stealing a tin of cookies. What? She says it went missing from the kitchen and that she saw me coming out of it today. No shit, because that's where we all keep our food. It's barely even a coincidence. It's a candy bar with a phone charm. Maybe. I don't know. It's got the little mixed dog character on it with like a little alien or skull bubble, and I thought it was space, but I don't know. I just can't tell. And that's a little purple alien figure that shows up a couple times throughout the Life is Strange game, but I don't think it has any kind of name either. I swear that she's just looking for reasons to bother me. Like she's just constantly dying to get on my case about something. She doesn't even care. For someone like her, bad press is still press, I suppose. I just have to keep being the bigger person about it. But she gets me so mad. Drawing of a dog. Woof. September 14th. Rachel gave me a friendship bracelet today. I'm as surprised as you are. She and Chloe and I went, get this, bowling. It was us 3 and a bunch of old people there for their league game. But it was actually really fun. Chloe strikes the pins down like a wrecking ball. She and Rachel were neck and neck. Meanwhile, I became very acquainted with the gutter, but it's cool. It's not like I wanted to win anyway. Sob. We ate cheese fries the whole time and then went for a walk, and then Chloe dropped Rachel and I off on campus before heading back home. We went back to the dorms, and Rachel said she had something for me before giving me the bracelet. Little old me? You shouldn't have. For reals though, it was so unexpected. Rachel's so nice. The bracelet is rainbow, and I'm wearing it right now, right next to the bracelet Chloe gave me at the end of last semester. And now I need to sleep off all these cheese fries. I feel like I'm about to explode. September 18th. I should think about joining a club. Everyone else is in one, except Chloe. Kate runs a couple of them, but seeing as I'm not very religious, I'd feel really off going. I got her advice about it anyway. She told me that there is a Halloween committee. Yes. Drawing of Alyssa. Dana Ward's in charge of it. I might go talk to her about it today. I'm a little shy to try to join, even though Dana's my friend. So like a wuss, I asked Kate if she'd join with me. Because Kate is a literal angel, she said yes. We're going to go get some details on it later. I'd better start planning my costume. I know Dana's intense about this stuff. Drawing of Rachel and Chloe. Half hugging. Chloe's got an arm around Rachel. There's little hearts drawn. Cute. September 24th. My birthday was good. Cake at the 2 Whales with a few of my friends, and then a little day trip to Portland with Chloe. So glad my B-Day fell on a Saturday this year. And the presents are mine. All mine! Chloe was all mad at Rachel today because Rachel canceled plans on her. She was all huffy, but it was kind of cute. I asked her why, and she said she didn't know. I went knocking on Rachel's door later, and she took 2 whole minutes to answer. When she did, I saw why. She's got a nasty cold. It was almost funny to see indestructible Rachel Amber with a sniffly red nose. Sadist much, Max? But I did feel sorry for her, I promise. Drawing of old school camera. I think. Pretty sure. I relayed the info to Chloe, and she felt bad about getting upset. We went to the market and came back with lemon tea and soup. And Chloe went wherever she does when she picks up weed and scored a few ounces. The look on Rachel's face was priceless when we gave her the Get Well Soon kit. She kept thanking us, but told us to go away so that she wouldn't get us sick. Chloe said, "Fuck that," and sat in her room with her anyway. So if Chloe's sick next week, we'll all know why. September 29th. Damn, does the Vortex Club ever face consequences for anything? They held last weekend's party out on the football field. It was insane. They had a live band and a fireworks show. A fireworks show! I could see it all the way from the dorms. There was no way that it wasn't reported, but of freaking course, not a single cop showed up. Really snarky drawing of Victoria Chase with a pointy nose and "Hello" written on it. It's a drawing of drawing, because it's a drawing in a drawing pad, but the drawing pad is drawn. Drawception. The field was completely trashed the next day. It looked like a tornado hit it, or like a really stanky 5-day hippie love festival happened out there. It's filthy. Gym classes have been cancelled, and the Bigfoots won't be able to play this week. If I were Principal Wells, I'd send Victoria Chase and her minions out there with trash bags to pick it all up, but he's not doing shit about it, as usual. And of course she won't stop talking super loudly about how awesome and great the party was, or whatever. I think she makes sure I'm in earshot before she brings it up, as if I even care. But maybe I should thank her. I mean, I don't have to go to gym this week. There's a silver lining to everything, or in this case, gold. October 2nd. Kate's spending a lot of time in her room lately. I haven't been seeing her in the TV lounge very much, even though she's usually there for movie nights. And I know she's Mixed Dog's assistant and that her art course load is super heavy this semester. Homework has been really dragging me down too, so I should try to get her to take a break so that we can both do something fun and relaxing. October 4th. Kate said that she can't do anything with me this weekend, which is pretty disappointing, but I'll deal. Today in class, Mixed Dog told us that they've got a surprise lined up for us on Monday. Great, now I'm gonna spend all weekend dying to know what it is. Can't concentrate, thinking of surprise, hoping it's something super cool. I want to put my mad photo skills to work. Alright, so that's caught up. Alright, so yeah, just getting a blog would be way more secure. False! But I'm used to writing it every single day. That's cool. There we go, all set. As I head out into the hallway, I finally spot the source of the music. It's all coming from Dana's room. The door's wide open like it usually is. This is definitely way too much bass for a Monday morning. I cross the hall, shaking my head. I knock on Kate's door, but there's no response. Maybe she's already headed to class. I'm a little sad I missed out on her usual morning violin playing. Not that I would have heard much of it over Dana's music. It doesn't surprise me that I can smell weed and hear the sound of a spray can drifting from the bathroom. Rachel and Chloe, up to no good, again. But I guess that's the company I keep. Victoria's usually got her door open or music playing like Dana, but it's quiet this morning. I guess she went to class early too. I've never seen her show up late to anything. Oh, the places you'll go, Max. Where to now? Alright, I already know that the bathroom is just Chloe and Rachel, and I'm not really in it for either of those this time, so I'm just gonna skip that. I'm not gonna go straight to class though, because Kate and Victoria are in the courtyard, and I want to talk to Victoria today. I head outside the dorms and see Kate sitting on a bench out on the front lawn, sketchbook in hand. Up ahead I see Victoria focused on a bulletin board. I guess I do have time to chat. Let's go bother Victoria! Victoria looks so focused on the message board. She's got her arms crossed like she's annoyed by what she's reading, but I'm not sure what it is she's looking at. I scan my eyes over the board. There are flyers for club meetings, another plea about the cat pics tablet, some stuff about global warming, the average Blackwell marquee. I don't usually go out of my way to talk to Victoria, but she might be the only other person who takes photography class as seriously as I do. It might be good to scope out what she thinks about today's surprise. Hey, Victoria! Victoria turns around, and for a split second I see surprise in her face before it's replaced with a stern look. What do you want, Max? Her tone isn't totally hostile today. Guess that's something at least. Just wanted to say good morning, if that's okay. Victoria snorts and rolls her eyes. I wouldn't call it a good morning as long as you're around. Wait, seriously? I throw my hands up in defense, giving a huff of exasperation. I can't catch a break with Victoria, can I? Wow, nice burn. Let me go to the nurse and get myself an ice pack. Victoria crosses her arms with an impatient sigh and then gestures with her fingers. Really, what do you want? I glance back to the bulletin board and see a small flyer in the corner. It's an advertisement for a photography exhibition in Portland. I think I found what Victoria was looking at. Just wondering what you think Mixed Dogs got prepared for us today. You know, the surprise they mentioned last week. Victoria purses her lips and looks away for a second, before turning back to me. I heard a rumor that it's another photo contest, like last year. She sounds kind of tense about it. I suddenly remember how she'd placed second in the photo contest last year. She hadn't looked happy about it at all. I know she'd busted her ass on it. Even I have to admit that her submission was really good. I totally thought she'd win. I have a feeling she took losing a lot harder than she'd let on. If it is, good luck, Victoria. That definitely wasn't the response Victoria was expecting. Her eyes widen, her mouth dropping open for a split second, before she recovers. She's not scowling at me anymore, at least. Yeah, you too, Max. Oh? I wasn't expecting that either. We stand there for another moment. Neither of us seem to know what to say. Awkward. Victoria makes an irritated sound, finally breaking the silence. Look, I've got to get back to figuring out my schedule for the week. Club meetings and shit. I'm pretty sure that wasn't what she was doing, but I'm not about to call her out on it. Yeah, of course. I'll see you in class. She turns back to the bulletin board. Well, that could definitely have gone a lot worse. As far as encounters with Victoria Chase go, that was practically painless. Alright, we're going to skip over Kate, Precious Kate, I'm sorry. Oh, back to the hallway, interesting. We're going straight to class now. 15 minutes to connect to chat, that's so long! I saw that on Twitter there was some Twitch support updates lately. People were having trouble getting even online, like getting their streams to start today, so maybe it's tied into that. Maybe the chat servers were having issues, just like the streaming servers were. But hello! Hello, Nana. If I go straight to class, I won't be able to go back and talk to Kate, Rachel, Victoria, or Chloe. That's okay, we already talked to Victoria and she's all that matters this time. Should I go straight to class? Yes! Once I enter the classroom, I head to the back and sit down in my usual seat. Contrary to what Chloe would have you believe, I don't sit back here to slack off like she does. I sit back here because it's centered right by where Mixed Dog usually lectures. Speaking of Chloe, I can see her sauntering in with Rachel. She grabs a couple of chairs and drags them noisily across the tiles so that she and Rachel can sit with me. Oh wow, got one of the stream team members to follow me. Oh neat. That's cool. Alright, so still on page 20. Nothing new there? Okay. Chloe looks like she's already prepared to nap all the way through class. Typical. Rachel, on the other hand, she's got top marks, even though she's more into being in photos, not taking them. She's already got her textbook open, and she's running a paint-stained finger down the page. Victoria walks in just a moment later with Taylor at her side. She glances at me, and then immediately looks away when she catches me looking back. Her lips are pressed together in a hard line as Taylor chatters in her ear. I guess she's not in a gossipy mood today. Kate's seat is over by the window. She mouths hello to me as she takes her spot, organizing her books into a neat pile. Good morning, class! What a lovely Monday morning! There's a few grumbles here and there. Chloe's is the loudest. Mixed Dog ignores them all. As you all know, I told you last week I'd have a big surprise coming today. Well, the day has come for me to announce the second annual Blackwell Photo Contest. I can feel butterflies literally explode in my stomach. Ugh. Next to me, Chloe and Rachel shoot me looks. Called it. Victoria stiffens in her seat and sits up a little straighter. Kate smiles, of course. She's as bright as the spot of sun she's sitting in. Now, this contest will be a little different from last year's. You'll have to pick a partner, because the contest's motif is the bonds between people. This doesn't mean you both have to be in the photo, although that's not against the rules. The photo can be of anything. Your bond will be expressed by working together. I want to see all kinds of photos represented. I encourage all of you to enter. At the end of the week, each pair will submit their photo. Of course, I'll be judging to pick the winner. As for the prize, the winner will have their photo displayed in the front entrance of the main building and a feature in the Blackwell Totem. We only have until Friday? Shit! If I wind up entering, I'm gonna have to start thinking about it right away. Who am I kidding? Of course I'm going to enter. Mixed Dog turns to survey the class, hands on their heads. One thing you should keep in mind. Be certain of who you choose for a partner, because you can't change once you've picked. You will both need to work together to create your photo. No cooperation, no entry. I'm starting to feel a little bit nervous about this whole thing. Sure, I've been taking photos for as long as I can remember, but I've never collaborated with someone else like this before. If you plan to enter, I need you to pick your partners before the end of today's class so that I can add your names to the registration sheet. Double shit, I have no idea who to ask and almost no time to make up my mind. Fidgeting nervously, I glance around the classroom. I can already see people murmuring to one another about their plans. Chloe, who's half asleep, raises her eyebrows at me when I meet her gaze. I guess she wasn't so zoned out that she wasn't listening. Rachel winks when I look at her, and I think about how much patience she's had posing for photos. Everyone knows that she wants to be modeled. Kate waves her fingers at me, smiling encouragingly. She doesn't have to say anything for me to know that she thinks I should enter. Victoria, she stiffens a little, but she doesn't look away immediately this time. She holds my gaze. I'm not sure if she's issuing a challenge. The choice is mine. I could ask anyone. Nothing stopping me but my own shyness. The worst that can happen is that I'll be turned down. Which honestly seems completely mortifying if I'm gonna be real here, but I'll be even more disappointed with myself if I don't enter at all. Who should I ask? We're gonna ask Victoria. Let's make her flash. Me. Oh, there's no. Okay. Are you sure you want to choose Victoria? Yup. I am about to do the dumbest thing I've ever done. As I get up from my desk, I feel my body turn stiff and robotic, like it's trying to protect me from the humiliation that I'm about to suffer by paralyzing me. But I forced my way through it. Come on, Max. Just walk over to her. Just walk right on over to Victoria Chase, who could ruin your reputation with a single status on the social media of her choice. Victoria Chase, who is in fact incredibly talented and could help you produce something amazing. If only you could get her to treat you like a fellow human. I should seriously turn my ass right back around and sit down, but I keep walking. Victoria only seems to notice me once I'm standing right above her. Never one to settle for being at anybody's feet, she immediately pushes her chair back, stands, and then kind of looms. I think I just shot a brick. What's up, sour grapes? Yep, this was a hella bad idea. I try not to look like I've just made a huge mistake. Oh, so clever. I take it you'll be entering. Yeah? I'm stalling for time, thinking about changing my mind. Victoria's looking at me expectantly. She can really make people feel like they're nothing but just one look. That's what sparks the determination in me. I feel bold for a moment, and I grasp onto it before it slips away. Here goes nothing. I want to work with you. Victoria looks stunned. Her expression is so satisfying. Excusez-moi? I talk fast before my bravado disappears entirely. We both take photography way seriously. We both came to Blackwell to work on our photos and get better, right? We're both into the same artists and the same eras. And I know you're practically an expert. I know we don't really see eye to eye, and your style is almost completely opposite of mine. But I think we've got the best chance of winning if we work together. Will logic win her over? I have no idea. I haven't even fully thought out this insane desire to work with her. Her eyes narrow to slits. She's probably gonna laugh in my face. I bet she wants this to be a her versus me competition. I hold my breath. Finally, she speaks slowly. You're not as dumb as you look. Thanks, I think. And then she sits down. I stare at her. Was that, Victoria waves her hand at me, irritated. Come talk to me after class, okay? Get out of my face. I think that was a yes. We're interrupted by Mixed Dog trailing back to the front of the classroom and clearing their throat. Alright. I've got to get into today's lecture. If you haven't picked a partner yet, then be sure that you do before class lets out. I settle back into my seat as the lesson begins, but I can barely focus. All I can think about is the contest. When class lets out, it feels like hours later, and I leap out of my seat. Just as Victoria asked me to, I walk over to approach her. She takes her time gathering her books and ignoring my existence. I wait. Finally, she straightens and gives a sharp jerk of her head. Well, what are you waiting for? Oh. After giving mixed dog our names to the registration sheet, I rush to follow her to the door. We'll meet tomorrow morning at that tin bucket of a diner. I'll text to let you know the exact time. The 2 whales? Isn't that what I just said? No. Do you need my number? Victoria shoots me a withering look. Guess not. So she already has it. Huh. That's all. Be prepared tomorrow and do not be late. With a dismissive flick of her wrist, Victoria separates from me and takes long strides down the hall, her head held high. I watch her go. I can't believe that worked. What have I gotten myself into? Tuesday. Time to read the journal. Oh, cool. Only one more page. October 7th. It's a photo contest! I should have known. I think I'm the only one that was surprised and totally unprepared. You have to sign up in pairs, and I have to pick a partner today because the deadline is Friday. Friday! Needless to say, I'm sweating at my desk. I don't know who I should ask. Should I play it safe? Or maybe high risk is high reward? IDK! But I have to decide, like, right now. As in, close my journal and decide. Now. October 7th later. I asked Victoria. Don't look at me. I think I was momentarily possessed by a demon. One in Kashmir. But I swear, I'm not joining the dark side. Here's the thing. Victoria's got talent. She might have the worst attitude in the world, seriously. But is there anyone in the school that knows their way around a camera better than she does? Nope. So, in the name of art, a truce. That's a drawing of Brooke, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so we're at the 2 Whales Diner on Tuesday morning, meeting up with Victoria. Usually I feel totally at ease in this environment. In the middle of the frantic breakfast rush at 2 Whales, complete with an atmosphere so loud and varied, it makes it hard to nod off. The diner is alight with a manner of different faces. Hungry truckers tapping their feet and banging their large fists against the counter, sleepy locals engaging in quiet conversation over steaming coffee mugs, families dabbing at the face of their children, and the already overworked staff fumbling about with a speed and accuracy I sure wouldn't be able to accomplish without falling over. And it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. It seems way too loud for it to be that time, but that's the beauty of the morning rush, I guess. Well, to be more accurate, it's only 9:58. I woke up this morning to a text from Victoria, demanding to meet up at 10 a.m. or never. Checking my phone to make sure I have the time right, I drum my fingers against the table to burn off the excess energy from my nerves. If I were to be meeting up with Chloe, I wouldn't be nervous at all. Well, maybe a little nervous if she'd leave me waiting for way too long. I can't help the little smirk that overcomes my lips at the thought, because I know for a fact that she definitely would. She always tells me I'd better not be late, but she always is. It's fine though. I guess I've learned to deal with the wonky schedule of one Chloe Price. That's what you get when you pledge your loyalty to the captain. There's no room for me to be that upset. Being first mate isn't all it's cut out to be. What is up with that look on your face? I jump in my seat at the sudden voice, and the smile dissolves quickly off my face. Victoria Chase is standing over my table, arms crossed and expression sour. I must have been so deep in my thoughts that I didn't even notice her come in. So much for preparing myself to deal with this. I look down at my phone to check the time. 10 a.m. I don't know why I'm surprised. Of course she'd be as punctual as possible. When I pull my gaze off my phone, I realize that she still made no effort to sit down. I can't help myself from thinking that she's probably trying to use that as some leverage over me. As if she doesn't have enough control over all of Blackwell. God, are you deaf or something? I asked you a question. That sparked some annoyance in the back of my mind, and I hurried to respond. I was just thinking of something. As much as I want to reply with something worse, I hold myself back and frown up at her. I was just thinking about something. Victoria raises a brow and then scoffs. It had better be something about the project, then. I can't keep myself from rolling my eyes, and she narrows her own eyes at me in response. Or maybe it's better if it's not. If I have to deal with you smiling like a total weirdo all the time, I might just go crazy. If she's that worried, her words definitely did the trick. There's nothing short of a frown on my face now. Very funny, Victoria. If it makes you feel better, it wasn't about the project. Victoria actually makes a noise of approval. Huh, good. I don't need you getting ahead of yourself. I don't really like the way she says that. She's planning on being the driving force behind this whole thing. I was the one who asked her to help in the first place. Whatever. Let's not waste any more time. Does that mean you're going to sit down? Victoria's eyebrow twitches at my assertion, and I can't stop myself from smiling smugly. I half expect her to say something. Instead, all she does is huff and tuck a lock of her hair behind her ear, sliding effortlessly into the seat. It's too early to deal with you, Caulfield. Too early? It's already 10 in the morning. I raise a brow at her. Even Chloe would have called me out earlier than this. Victoria shoots me a look and averts her gaze out of one of the many waitresses passing by. Oh, averts her gaze to one of the many waitresses passing by, as if that'll make them show up any faster. Some people actually need their beauty sleep. I'm not surprised you haven't heard of it with how you look. Ouch! She's on a roll today. Cross my arms, watching her warily. Seriously? If you were going to come here just to insult me, why did you even agree to work with me? Victoria pauses and then pinches the bridge of her nose. Hey, F.U., sorry! I didn't mean to leave you hanging there at all. Reading the conversation, getting into it. Victoria's one of my least favorite characters, but like she's got some redemption to her, and I'm excited to see how this visual novel handles her. So, I'm like, invested. Don't flatter yourself. Before Victoria can finish her response, a waitress finally shows up to take our orders. Victoria, of course, wastes no time. Coffee, black. She shoots me a look, as if I'm the reason she's getting something so strong. I stand my ground, staring her right back, for maybe a little too long because Victoria clears her throat and gestures to the waitress. We don't have all fucking day, Caulfield. My ears burn and I avert my gaze. Just a coffee with bacon and eggs. Oh. Sorry, I was about to sneeze. I didn't want to sneeze. Once the waitress pens down our orders and speeds away, the atmosphere feels just as tense as before. Victoria is extremely quiet, and I can't find the words to say. It always feels like talking to Victoria is like trying to avoid stepping on landmines. It almost makes me regret my decision a little, but I quickly dash that thought from my mind. I know why I picked Victoria to help me. I've seen her work before, and for someone so sour, she has a ton of talent. I guess I've always wondered why someone so talented has to be such a jerk. She has everything, so what does she get from tearing everyone down? I peek at her again, and catch her looking out the window instead of at me. There's this little furrow in her brow, as if she's thinking about something. It's probably something about me. Maybe she's questioning this decision just as much as I am. Hey, Victoria. Victoria turns her head to look at me, brows still furrowed. As she opens her mouth to respond, our waitress comes by and drops off our drinks. Whatever she was going to say is swallowed up by her taking a hold of her coffee and taking a sip. I almost want to wince, imagining how bitter that was. So, our project. Right. Any ideas? What do you have in mind? That seems like a more professional thing to say, which seems good for Victoria. Do you have any ideas? Seems really like irresponsible, loosey-goosey. So I'm gonna go with this one. What do you have in mind? Also, because Victoria seems to want to be in charge, so this seems like the deferring option to give Victoria the little, tap on the back, like, yeah, you go ahead, you take charge, lady. Alright, since I'm dealing with Victoria, it's probably easier to ask her what she has in mind first. What do you have in mind? Do you have any idea? We both stop short, our sentences totally mismatched. It takes me a moment to realize what she was trying to say, and really, I'm surprised. Was she actually asking me for my opinion? I see her grip tighten on her mug, and she turns her head away from me and looks out the window. I blink hard, because there's no way the light pink dusted over her cheeks is real, but as soon as I do, it's gone, and she's glowering at me again. Were you seriously asking for my opinion? Don't tell me you were planning to peg all the work on me, Caulfield. Oh, there's no winning that one then. Her eyes are narrowed, tone almost downright poisonous. I groan softly at the accusation. That's not what I meant. This is a collaboration, in case you forgot. Maybe if you got your head out of the clouds once in a while, you'd realize that. I furrow my brows a little irritated. Does she seriously think I was trying to push all the work on her? I tried to be considerate, and all I did was get yelled at. Well, I mean, we should probably figure out where we're going to shoot, right? Victoria hums in agreement at my words, seemingly placated for now. That's right. Since the focus is Arcadia Bay, it shouldn't be hard to find a suitable spot. Are you saying you know good places to shoot? She pauses and taps her fingers against the table. Of course, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give you a chance to prove... What? Okay, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to give you a chance to prove yourself. I can't help but snort a little, and Victoria shuts her eyes at that, annoyed again. At least that's what it looks like, but then she continues easily. As I was saying, I'd like to hear your opinion on the matter. Victoria's gaze zeroes in on me, and I instantly feel more than a little awkward underneath her judgmental eyes. It makes me more nervous than it should, and I swallow dryly and reach for my coffee. In all actuality, I don't really know if I'm good enough for this. The fact that Victoria is asking my opinion is more than a bit intimidating. I could think of a few, but I'm not sure they're... Don't. I wouldn't ask you your opinion if I didn't think you were somewhat competent. Victoria huffs, and I rub at the back of my neck. Is that supposed to be a compliment? I've got something in mind too, fortunately for you. Really? Victoria purses her lips, resting her elbow on the table and looking over me again. Yes, I do. Clean out those hipster ears of yours, and you won't have to ask me dumb questions like that ever again. There's another pause, and then Victoria's looking out the window again, waving me off. Finish your food already, and then tell me what you want to do. It'd be a shame if I didn't give your amateur taste a chance. I'm so surprised that she's letting me take the reins that I almost do forget that I have food in front of me, and I take the opportunity to nosh on it. I also take the opportunity to think hard about my decision. There's no way I'm going to argue about this. This isn't a chance that comes often. It might be a little bad, but I kind of expected her to take complete charge. So, spit it out already. Okay, she doesn't want... I really thought that she would want to, but the way this is panning out makes it seem like she does not want to be fully 100% in charge, so... I know. I think I know where we could go. You think? Victoria sips at her coffee impatiently, and I wipe at my mouth with a napkin. I backtrack a little, frowning. No, I know. That's what I thought. Where are we going? You'll see. I've got the perfect place to take Victoria for this. Hopefully she doesn't find a way to chew me out anyways. Oh, Max, where are we going? The beach? Sounds like the beach. Nope, that's driving. Getting into Victoria's expensive car after leaving the diner was stressful enough, and it didn't really help that as soon as I sat down, she'd snapped at me for the directions, wasting no time at all. That didn't stop her from turning on the radio. At first, I thought it was some kind of attempt to drown me out, but she kept her trashy party music at a pretty decent level, which was kind of nice. Shows she cared enough to listen to me. It's your time to shine, Max. It's not every day you get to order Victoria around. Well, that's what I thought, but I just kept my voice as calm as I could in the face of Victoria's apparent displeasure and nonchalance. We make it in no time at all, due to the lack of traffic. Not that there's usually any traffic, it's sad to say, but Arcadia Bay is kind of like a ghost town these days. Before I came back to Blackwell, it used to be lively, or at least from what I remember from the days William took us around town, and Chloe and I started sword fights in front of the two whales. The thought is a little depressing. Ah, the frickin' wharf, dang it! Which is exactly why I picked this spot today. I thought if we were going to shoot anywhere, it should be somewhere vibrant, somewhere with a little more life, for Victoria's sake at least. I can handle nature, but I don't think I've ever seen Victoria willingly shoot at a tree or a squirrel. People are more her thing. Caulfield! Max! My train of thought is broken, again, by Victoria's demanding tone. It's edged with annoyance. It takes me a second to realize that she's already parked the car. Sorry, I zoned. As if that weren't inherently obvious. Jesus Christ, Max. I expect her to keep going on about it, and so I frown and open my mouth to stop her. But before I do, she's already getting up and throwing open the door. This is right. This is it, right? You didn't zone and give me the wrong directions, did you? I huff through my nose, scratching sheepishly at the back of my neck. No, Victoria, this is it. Victoria gives me a look, and then gets out of her car. I unbuckle my seatbelt quickly, fumble with my camera bag for a moment, and follow her out. As soon as I'm out of the car, the scent in the air hits me really hard, a sharp contrast from the heavily perfumed scent from Victoria's car. Aw, I'm sorry your day was crappy, Effuse. Mine wasn't too great either. It was... I'm very sleepy, so I should sleep good after this. Yes, tell us your sad tale in the chat box. My nose is filled with the salty tang of the ocean, and my ears are filled with the idle chatter of people, the patter of their footsteps against the wooden boardwalk floor. I quickly focus on Victoria instead of on the cloudy blue sky, and I see her with her arms crossed, watching the people mill about. There's something about her I can't quite place. It almost looks like she's not even breathing. I see her exhale softly, and I wonder if I was right. Are you serious? What? I blink at the comment, unsure of how I should take it. There's something pensive in her tone, and then she purses her lips. Nothing. I just expected you to bring me somewhere else. You did? With your tastes, I thought you'd bring me somewhere bland. I can't help it. I have to turn my head away to hide my amusement. I think I know what she's getting at. Bland. Just expected me some... probably the park. She was expecting the park. Because Max was saying something about shooting nature and animals. The junkyard was Chloe's shtick. And the light, well, Max does have history at the lighthouse, but... And it is, like, the main tourist thing in Arcadia Bay. I'm gonna go with park, though. Park's my first... Like the park? I watch as Victoria stands silent for a second, and then kind of crinkles her nose. Yes, Max. The park. There's not a lot of substance there. Just trees, and grass, and squirrels. You know, animals. Victoria huffs and raises her hand to fix her hair, as if that really does anything. Her hair's perfect anyways. Aw, I know that PLFUs. I'm sorry. I am aware of that. It just doesn't seem like an interesting spot for a shoot. I think it's interesting. It's called nature, Victoria. I can't help myself, grinning a little in her direction, watching her eyes widen. She grumbles and looks off to the side. Like I said, I'm aware. That doesn't make it any more interesting. Anyways, I hesitate a little and go to walk around the car and join Victoria, since she doesn't seem like she's up to moving. Victoria's eyes are on me as I do so, and I gesture vaguely to the boardwalk. We should walk around, I guess. Scope out the area. Clearly. She says that as if I were the one holding us up, and not her. As promptly as ever, she starts walking ahead of me, and I follow after her before she leaves me behind. Victoria's always walked with purpose, whether or not she's actually got a reason to. I wouldn't be surprised if she does have a reason. Victoria looks like she's so busy all the time, and she even makes buying from the vending machine seem like such an important event. This isn't helping me out at all, though, because Victoria's got a few inches of height over me, making it a little harder to keep up with her long strides. Does that mean you actually like it? I mean, I picked it for a reason. My breath comes out in a little pant, and that seems to bring Victoria's attention over to my attempt to match her pace. She slows down a little, waiting for me. At least I think she is. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it, just stepping beside her and walking with much more ease. It's acceptable, surprisingly. Surprisingly? Victoria frowns with a little groan that rolls off my tongue, and I bite my tongue to stifle anything else that comes out. It's a little frustrating, really. Victoria can act as standoffish as she likes, but I'd like a little credit. Alright, chill. I meant to say it's nice, okay? Oh, the way Victoria says that it's surprisingly hesitant, and I find myself staring at her in mild disbelief. Her eyes lock onto mine for just a split second, and I hold my breath at the gaze. She breaks it, and I'm able to breathe again. Wow, that was new. Thanks. Don't mention it. Seriously. The edge slips back into her voice as if it never happened in the first place. I don't know whether or not I'm disappointed or not. You said you had a reason? Oh, yeah. I definitely know why I picked the boardwalk. Not only is it gorgeous, or that the atmosphere is calming, but it also feels like it brings life back into Arcadia Bay. Nothing feels stagnant here, not with families trying to hold back their kids from darting into all the shops they can find, or couples relaxing as they watch the bay. In addition to that, I thought Victoria would appreciate the variety of models here. There's so many figures, so much to point a camera at. I thought you'd like it. That's why I asked, I guess. All of a sudden, Victoria stops walking, and I have to stop before I walk ahead of her. I look at her, tilting my head a little. And Victoria is giving me this dubious look, and then she crosses her arms. Oh man, what did I do to deserve her almighty wrath this time? You thought I'd like it? Why the hell would you care about that? I breathe in and hope I can explain it to her in a way that she won't snap at me. You're better at portraits, right? Nature's not your thing, yeah, but better at portraits. I already talked about that. Let's change it to something more positive. Because you're better at portraits, right? Victoria drums her fingers against her arm, considering my words, and then almost cautiously she speaks. Yes, I am. You noticed. Yeah, I've seen your work, and all your photos are pretty Avedon-esque. You have an eye for framing people, so I thought you'd work a lot better somewhere where there's a bunch of subjects. Something in Victoria's expression softens, the hard side of her jaw relaxing. She makes a noise of approval, I think. Thanks, Max. I do try. But I didn't ask for you to cater to me. I can hold my own. I know that. I swear I wasn't doubting you. As soon as I've said that, I see her throat bob, like she's swallowing something bitter. You'd better not have been. Like I said, this is a collaboration, so... I shift on my feet, feeling awkward just standing in the middle of the boardwalk with no direction. Victoria catches the movement and then jerks her head toward a bench. I have no reason not to agree, and she knows that, so she heads over and sits down. You're super talented, Victoria, and I'm not just saying that to stroke your ego or something. Victoria snorts. Chill, Max. I am chill. I'm just... Save it. I'm not even interested in hearing some sappy, hippie-ass explanation. This time, I'm the one who huffs. Some frustration burns at the back of my mind, mostly because one moment Victoria is tolerable, and the next she's not. I fumble for a response to this. Victoria gets to it first. If you're going to bother telling me anything, then tell me what you're going to do if we win. The statement hits me kind of hard, and maybe it's worse because of the way Victoria says it. It's so serious. My minor irritation gives way to this odd kind of nervousness that flutters in my stomach. The same feeling I always get when someone asks me what I'm going to do with my photos, or where I want to go in life, specifically. How I'm going to get there. Victoria is staring right at me too, and I can't read the look in her eyes very well. All I can focus on otherwise is the way the light from the sunset frames her serious face. My mouth feels dry. I don't really know yet. I press my palms against my jeans to stave off the nerves eating at my stomach, and I wait for her response. She looks back out towards the sunset, leans forward so her elbows are against her knees. If we win, I'm using these shots in my portfolio, so I can submit them to the art gallery nearby. They'd be idiots if they didn't take my work, so I'm going to make sure they do. This will be amazing exposure. Oh. I say this almost breathlessly, and I hope she doesn't notice how amazed I am. Victoria is so dedicated. If there's one thing I'm envious of, it's that. But I guess it's not really envy. I think it's more awe that keeps me looking at her. I wish I could be the same. Victoria seems so fearless. Okay, I don't want to say of course she would, because that seems sarcastic and a bit rude. And amazing, I don't know, but amazing, that's amazing, seems kind of placating, like ass patty. I'm not sure. Let's go with that. I'd rather do that. Stoke ego than be confrontational. That's amazing. The words come out before I can stop them, and I rub my palms against my jeans. Victoria turns to me, tension still clear in the crease between her eyebrows. It's almost like she doesn't know how to respond to my praise. Thanks. I'm glad someone thinks so, even if it's you. So, if you go and waste it for me, don't think I won't make your life hell. She's trying to threaten me, but there's something else underneath that tone, I think. There's a lot about Victoria I still don't understand. I lean back on the bench and watch the sunset with her, unsure of how I'm supposed to feel. I want to find out more. Wednesday has to wait because I've got journal reading to do. Alright, dun-dun-dun. October 8th. I'm still not really over the fact that I actually went and asked Victoria to partner with me for the contest. It could turn out to be the worst mistake of my life. TBH, it probably will. But the rules say you can't change your partner once you've picked, so for better or worse, I'm stuck. And it's Mixed Dog saying, work hard! Victoria showed me exactly what I was in for this morning at the Two Whales. She showed up and was cranky right off the bat and steamrolled her way through our conversation. But despite that, the weird part, she actually wanted to know what I thought about everything. She seriously asked me for my opinion, and then actually seemed to want to hear it. I guess there's a first time for everything. Or this is an omen of the oncoming apocalypse. So, with a golden opportunity to voice my thoughts to the Vortex Queen, I took it. She let me pick a location for our contest photo, and was cool with me taking her there to check it out. I directed us to the boardwalk, and I completely expected her to make fun of me for my choice, but she actually seemed kind of begrudgingly impressed, if not bland is a positive thing. Coming from a Victoria Chase, I'm pretty sure it is. I'll take what I can get, thanks. Still, it was really uncomfortable just being around her. I was tense, expecting her to jump down my throat constantly, which she wasn't shy about doing, and then she straight up told me that she was planning to enter the winning shot, if we have one, into her portfolio for a local art gallery. We might not get along, and maybe we never will, but Victoria is ruthlessly determined. I kind of envy her for it. Weird notebook paper drawing of giant creature, I don't know. Alright, Wednesday. When I chose to work with Victoria, I didn't think it would mean that I'd have to work around my sleeping schedule. What I mean by that is that today, at 8 a.m., I'd been woken up by someone's insistent knocking on the door, and when I finally managed to force myself up, I'd found a fully dressed Victoria Chase standing at my door. If I didn't feel dorky in my oversized Back to the Future t-shirt and hot dog shorts while I was in bed, I definitely did then, in the face of Victoria's designer cashmere sweater and glittering gold jewelry. Luckily for me, it seemed like the morning hours had dulled down Victoria's desire to taunt me. All she did was demand I get dressed and meet her in the parking lot. That's how I ended up back in Victoria's car too early in the morning, trying to will my empty stomach to not growl in her presence. At the same time, I was kind of nervous as to where we were heading. And then I was just confused when we ended up downtown. Are you hungry? Victoria, for the first time this whole morning, suddenly questions, shifting the gear into park and turning the engine off with swift fingers. I find myself pausing for a moment, and she makes this face at me and clears her throat. Sorry, I'm still a little sleepy. Aren't we all? Does that mean you're hungry or not? Yes! Yes, you literally just said, grumbling stomach, yes. I don't know about Victoria, but I'm kind of starving. When she came to get me, I didn't even have enough time to grab a bite to eat. I also don't think she's eaten either, but I'm not sure about that one. She might have gone to eat with her Vortex Club lackeys before coming to get me. Anyways, what's the worst she can say? I'm just being honest. Yeah, I'm pretty hungry. Good. I tilt my head in confusion at the statement, and Victoria glances at me and waves me off. Because I'm hungry too. Jesus, Max. My stomach betrays me just then, growling way too loudly. I feel my face going hot, all the way up to the tips of my ears. Victoria's still watching me, and then she actually has the audacity to smirk smugly at me. Tactful, Max. It sounds like you have a fucking monster in there. I groan and slide down the seat, or at least I try to. The seatbelt kind of ruins the effect. Who knows when you would have woken up? I can't have you wasting time. The longer you sit there, the longer we go without food. Victoria opens the door, stepping outside. It prompts me to do the same, and when I do, I'm kind of awestruck by our location. It might sound lame, but I don't come downtown often. There's something about this place that reminds me of a smaller version of Seattle. Definitely less polished and less cluttered. Still, it's a step up from the barren streets of Arcadia Bay, and it looks like Victoria's taken us to the nicer side of town. Wowzers! Victoria hums appreciatively. What are we doing here? Do I seriously have to explain everything to you? I shoot Victoria a look, frowning again. No, you don't, but it'd be nice to know. I was thinking about our shoot, and this should be obvious. Victoria, as she walks and talks, seems to be skimming over each of the shops. I do the same, following her gaze as it runs over the glass windows. Oh man, everything looks so ritzy. Good night, Effuse. And Mana. Or Mana. Who Effuse is also bidding good night. That's how that went. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. We should make an actual effort to prepare. I don't want to be aimlessly pointing my camera around like a goddamn idiot hoping to get the perfect shot. So, I'm going to start by making sure you're not pathetically underprepared for this. What's that supposed to mean? I quirk my brow at her. She gestures vaguely to my clothes with a swipe of her hand. That means I'm going to get you in something presentable for once. You might like to parade around with the fashion sense of a 5-year-old, but I could stand to see you in better clothes for our shoot. Whoa, okay, I actually feel a little defensive over that. I like my jeans, and this is my favorite doe t-shirt. Hey, there's nothing wrong with my jeans and graphic tee. Not everyone can afford to drag out their Gucci shirt with their Vuitton jacket. Victoria makes this noise, followed by a short laugh. You did not just say that. Jesus, no wonder you're such a fashion wreck. I almost pouted her, and then it kind of clicks. Wait. I could stand to see better clothes for our shoot. I'm going to be your model? Alright. This I pointed out the whole portrait. Bugger. To mama. Alright, you're going to photograph me versus I'm going to be your model. Let's see. I really want to go with this one, just because the terminology seems better. It seems more articulated, which is something that Victoria is pretty picky about, I guess. Versus, you're gonna photograph me? Just seems really doofy and I don't know. Going with the model. I'm going to be your model? Almost immediately after I've said the words, I know they were a total stretch. I'm no model, and I know it. Victoria knows it too. I'm not good enough for something like that. What? Victoria's piercing gaze lands on me again, and her brows are furrowed. No, Max. Why the hell would... For some reason, Victoria seems to catch herself before she finishes her sentence. You're just bound to show up in my shots. This isn't exactly going to be a modeling session, if you even bother to remember the prompt. If it was, you probably would have gone running to fucking Rachel Amber. There's something particularly vicious in her tone. Before I could say anything, though... This is it. Victoria stops in front of a particular shop only before I'm able to get a good look at it. She's already heading inside. So I don't stand outside like a total dork. I follow her inside with all the grace of a newborn fawn. Instantly, I'm a little surprised. I was expecting she'd bring me to some really glamorous shop, some place with all these glittering shirts and an oppressive atmosphere. Oh, hello, Madame Victoria. Kiss, kiss. Pleasure to see you. Actually, just to take your huge wads of cash. I smile lamely at the dorky thought. Unfortunately, this place looks totally normal. I'm actually starting to think I can afford this stuff. Until I take one look at the price tag of a shirt, and I honestly feel my heart stop. Whoa, I don't think... Oh god, don't give yourself a heart attack. Victoria comes over to me, just to swap my hand away from the nicely pressed shirt. I press my clammy hands against my jeans. Victoria, I seriously don't think I can, you know. And I'm telling you not to give yourself a heart attack. Chill out. Victoria sighs, ignoring my minor panic, returning to the display table again. Do you like beige or white? What? I'm not doing a very good job at holding myself together, and Victoria frowns at me. She has come to me again, just to grab my wrist, guiding me over to the rack she's been so heavily inspecting. These, Max, do you want to try them in beige or white? When I look again, she's holding a pair of white jeans and a pair of beige jeans. I hadn't even realized she'd let go of my hand. Huh? I don't know. I don't really know a lot about fashion. You kinda said that yourself. Victoria smirks a little. I did, and I was right. Still, I thought you'd like to pick something yourself. What do you think? I'm sure I can work with whatever awful option you choose. Thanks, Victoria. That's flattering. I feel real confident about my decision. Victoria hums softly and gestures to them again. I really have to pick something, huh? We're gonna go with... Oh, I clicked a thing. That's not what I wanted. Oh, I forgot to save. Aw, bugger. Oh well. Alright, white jeans or beige jeans? I want to say white, but Max is self-proclaimed stupid clumsy. Beige is only moderately less terrible for clumsy people. We're gonna go white. We're gonna go white. We're gonna be ballsy. I guess I'll pick the white one. I didn't even know that was a color jeans came in. Victoria turns to put the beige jeans back on the counter, and I hear her snort. Jeans come in a lot of different colors. White isn't even the start of it. It's a good color though. You can really work with it. Seriously? I wouldn't think so. It'll at least work on you, and that's all we really need. Wow, thanks. Victoria pauses and huffs. It was a genuine compliment. Hold on to this. Before she even finishes her sentence, she's already shoving the jeans into my arms. If you're going with white jeans, you'd look good with a white shirt. Not plain though, striped. You'd look fucking awful if you wore plain white on white. Victoria is walking through the aisles like she's a queen, and this is her palace. I wouldn't have thought about it before, except now I see she's kind of amazing. She really knows her stuff, and she seems so passionate about this. It's actually nice to see her so in her zone. To watch the way she struts around the store, sifting through clothing with this kind of silent ferocity, lips set into a determined grimace. Do you ever take off that stupid hoodie? Victoria turns to me with a flick of her wrist, and I straighten up a little. No, not really. Of course not. I just needed to know so I could pick out a cardigan for you, too. A cardigan? Yes, a cardigan, to throw over the shirt. Your attire needs a splash of color, otherwise it won't catch anyone's eye. Crimson or violet? Violet. That's what I would have picked, too. I respond with a lot less hesitation this time around. Wouldn't that mean her choices are bad, too, if she was saying whatever she chooses is bad and that she's the one that picked out the two options? Yeah, technically, she was saying that those were some pretty shit options. I don't know. Okay. Victoria finally focuses on me again. She opens her mouth to say something, and then stops. A whole other second passes, and then she promptly turns. Violet, of course. It'd look better on you anyways. Crimson is too powerful, too commanding. Victoria mutters underneath her breath, starting to head over to the counter. Wait. You're paying? Obviously. Wonderful observation, Max. There's no way I can actually let her do that. Don't, seriously. You'll give me a headache. If you want, you can just go wait outside. Victoria stares at her nails, tone firm, and I already know this is a battle I've lost. I'm kind of dizzy. She's paying for me. Even though I want to argue more, I decide it's probably better to take her up on her offer. So I hand the jeans to her, and leave before we can cause a scene by arguing or something. As soon as I'm out, though, I actually feel kind of worried. I feel like I should pay her back, even if it's with something small. Maybe I can get her something from across the street. I heard they have a pretty sweet shop there. I've only got so long before she comes out, so I duck into the shop, and I'm totally stumped. What should I get for her? Ah, fuck! In the beginning, there was cookies. But, if we get her the cookies, she might think that we really did take the cookies, and this is our attempt to give back the cookies that we took. The Ghost in the Shell figurine, however, from the original Life is Strange game, we know that Victoria likes anime figures. So that might be a really good option. Sunglasses, she's probably already got sunglasses, and she knows more about fashion than we do anyway, so if we bought her sunglasses, they'd be an off-brand and be terrible, and she'd hate them. Okay, we know she likes the cookies, but there's that whole caveat about other stuff. The Ghost in the Shell thing, we'd only know if we'd been in her room, which is kind of creepy. Fuck it, we're getting the figurine. Should I give her a Ghost in the Shell figurine? Yes. I don't know a lot about anime, but I swear that one time I snuck into Victoria's room for Dana's sake, I saw some dorky figurine on her desk. I hope she likes this one. I run out of the store, just in time to see Victoria exit. Jamming the gift into my bag, I cross the street to meet up with her again. I almost thought you bailed on me. You're kind of my ride home, Victoria. I can't exactly run and leave. Victoria's irritated expression caves, and I breathe easy. My stomach also grumbles again, surprising us both. Instinctively, I blush again, and I find myself grinning sheepishly in her direction at the shocked little glance she's giving me. Not that I'm not having fun, but I'm totally ready to nosh on something. Where do you want to eat? Wait, you want me to pick? Oops, that must have come out more shocked than I thought. Victoria's full of surprises today, so I can't help it. I wouldn't be asking if I didn't. She scowls at me lightly and crosses her arms, the bag shifting on them. Just pick already, won't you? I see part of what they're doing here is they're making it so Victoria's one of those well-off friends who tries to take care of people, who tries to, she's wealthy, so she tries to spread her wealth. Some of it's under the guise of serving her own purposes, like having Max look better in the event that she's in her shots and everything, but they're gonna go get food, and Victoria's gonna pay for that too. Like 99, 100% sure there. There's something about the way she says that leaves me feeling warm, and I rub at my own arm nervously, leaning back on my heels. Well, I know this place down the block. They make some pretty cool crepes. Victoria presses her lips together, and then nods slowly. Fine, whatever. Lead the way. For the first time this morning, I do. By the time Victoria pulls into the Blackwell parking lot, it's already nighttime, which means we spent pretty much the whole day together. That's actually pretty weird. I mean, it's not every day you get to hang out with the queen bee of Blackwell, with absolutely no problems, or anything I actually... with absolutely no problems, or anything. I actually had a really nice time. Shopping with Victoria was still pretty grueling on my poor heart, and my wallet, but aside from Victoria's gift, it's not like I bought anything pricey. Victoria made sure of that. Just thinking about it makes me feel a little off, but not in a bad way. Kind of in a really confused way. Or really worried, mostly for Victoria's health. She wouldn't normally shop for a beat-down hipster, would she? But the more time I spend with her, the more I see she's not as terrible as she fronts. As she parks the car, I peer over at her. She's tapping her nails against the steering wheel, seeming a little distracted. Or maybe not really distracted, just more like lost in her thoughts? Maybe she's thinking along the same lines as I am. For once, we might be on the same page. No, really, we might be, because now that I'm listening to whatever's coming out of the radio... Is that Sid Matters? You actually listen to them? What? Victoria straightens a little in her seat, glancing over at me. So she was distracted. Nothing. Just surprised you listened to that. Aren't they a little hipster for you? I can't help but take the opportunity to tease her. It feels right, even if Victoria could probably tear into me at any given second. Victoria stares at me and then huffs. Watch yourself, Max. I'm just saying. I listen to it, and I'm kind of a hipster. At least according to you and all your other Vortex Club friends. You mean friends? Sure, Victoria. Victoria now narrows her eyes. It's almost fun to rile Victoria up. Oh, did she say fiends and I read it wrong? Oh, dang. She gets super defensive, fishing for the best insults. Well, usually. Lately, I feel like she's really been toning it down. First of all, you're not kind of a hipster, you are one. Don't compare me to a spectacle like you. Secondly, the door's open, you know. Feel free to get out, because it's not like I'm keeping you trapped in here. That's true, but I can't really go yet, not until I give her this present. I know, I have a really good reason for not leaving yet. Unless you're kicking me out. Victoria furrows her brows and turns to me, interested. I'm actually not. So, is that an invitation to stay? I rub at the back of my neck. For some reason, the question makes me nervous. It's probably just because I have to give her her gift. I don't even know if she's going to actually like it. Victoria stares at me and rolls her head to the side. I guess. But before I have to deal with whatever nonsense you're going to come up with next, let me at least get a little comfortable. I don't entirely understand what she means by that, until she leans forward, pressing down on some button in her car. Oh! I breathe out in some half-surprised exhale as the roof of Victoria's car literally starts sliding back, exposing the night sky to us alongside the gleam of the parking lot lights. I crane my neck back to watch the rest of the convertible ceiling roll back, feeling almost stupid that I didn't notice it before. Of course, Victoria would have something super fancy like this. It stops at the click, and I blink a few times. Shaking my head, I look back to Victoria. I don't know when she got them out, but now she's holding a carton of cigarettes, hand halfway down to pick at one. Don't sound so surprised. Sorry, you just kind of caught me off guard. Victoria gives me a small laugh, a half scoff. Most people are. All she does is light up her cigarette, taking a long drag off of it. Victoria reaches next to her and... oh, she's bringing the seat back just so she can lay down. She looks so comfortable, it's almost surprising, and I'm left wondering if I should do the same, or not. If you're going to stay, don't just sit there like a dork. She gestures to my seat, and I carefully follow suit, my hands fumbling to find the lever to push the seat back. Before I can get comfortable, though, she clears her throat. And just make sure no one is coming, or something. What, you can't be seen with me? She smirks. Maybe. I roll my eyes, but I'm not exactly too offended. Leaning up on my elbows, I check for any familiar figures in the surrounding area. It's just us. I don't see anyone else there, not even one of the security guards, which is probably for the best. I don't exactly need David grilling me about this. Why are you so concerned? It's not like this is a date or anything. I say before I can stop myself, and instantly I feel my face heat up. Okay, I did not mean for that to slip out at all. Apparently Victoria didn't either, because she actually coughs for a second. I want to check if she's alright, but I'm too embarrassed to look in her direction. No. You wish. There's this hoarse quality to her voice, and she clears her throat. Good. Last thing I'd want is you trying to seduce me. I joke, trying to offset my mistake. Victoria grumbles in response. After I'm confident that no one is milling around, I settle back down against the leather seat, flopping onto my back. The coast is totally clear. Victoria hums with approval. Since I've got nowhere to put my hands, I rest them both on my stomach, staring up blankly at the sky. So, are you going to let me in on whatever you're planning? I stiffen up slightly, biting my lip at the reminder of the gift in my bag. I wasn't expecting you to actually remember. Are you kidding me? My memory isn't that awful. I slide one of my hands over to my bag, shrugging weakly. Yeah, but my gift probably is. Hello, Elric. Welcome. We're halfway through the playthrough. We're on Wednesday night already, so there's just Thursday and Friday left. And it's going surprisingly well. Lots of predictable attitude, but also some nice, softer undertones to Victoria's antics. The thought is kind of depressing, but Victoria is watching me warily, eyes darting down to my bag. Okay, it's not a bomb, is it? Very funny, Victoria. Victoria doesn't ease up at all, still watching me intently. She even turns to face me, leaning on her elbow and everything. In spite of myself, I smile a little at the sight. So, spit it out already. I guess it's now or never, not that I really have a choice. Earlier, when we were shopping and you bought me that outfit, immediately Victoria looks a little peeved. Are you going to bring this up again? I already told you. Can you actually let me finish? I cut her off before she can tell me to forget about it, and she narrows her eyes, taking a long drag with no further comment. I got you something. You did what? Victoria seems like she's at a loss for words for just a second. Even after I specifically told you you didn't have to worry about paying me back. All I can do is shrug my shoulders, fingering the strap from my bag anxiously. I just wanted to say thanks. I didn't really expect that. It was a really nice gesture, and it's not like I got you anything big, just a little something. Victoria averts her gaze, covering her mouth with her hand. Alright, fine. What is it? It's now or never, Max. You can do this. It's just Victoria. I sit up a little to reach into my camera bag and pull out that dorky figurine I managed to find earlier, all neat and boxed up. I seriously have no clue where it's even from, but all I know is that the girl in the box looks pretty tough, wearing a leather jacket and holding some sort of pistol, I think. Looks pretty futuristic. Either way, I hand it over, and Victoria's gone impressively silent. Victoria? Where did you get that? There's this odd urgency in her tone, and she takes it from my hand so quickly I jump a little. The store? I saw it and I thought you liked this kind of stuff, so... Wait, excuse me? You thought I liked this kind of stuff? Yeah? Uh-oh, I have a feeling I'm not supposed to know about this. Did Taylor, open her huge mouth or something? Victoria questions, turning the box around in her hand, and I tense up. I don't answer. Sorry, Taylor. I send a silent prayer to her. Before I can come up with anything, Victoria just turns and crams the figurine into one of the plastic bags. Whatever. I guess I should thank you for the dorky thought anyways. Huh. Alright, she totally liked it, but she's totally embarrassed also. Now that the weight of that whole situation is gone and Victoria hasn't kicked me out, I take the chance to press my head back against the leather seat of her car, closing my eyes and resting my hands back against my stomach. I don't hear Victoria move, but that's fine. All I can hear is her smoking next to me, and the radio blaring softly with another Sid Meier's song. This is definitely how their album's meant to be enjoyed. Score. It's oddly relaxing, just sitting here in Victoria's car, with the wind brushing over us. I know we're just at Blackwell, but here it kind of feels like we're in our own little world. Just us and the music, laying down underneath the night sky. Max! It's Victoria who breaks the silence. I don't actually mind too much, really. I turn my head to the side, opening my eyes to look at her. She's on her back now, one arm behind her head, her other hand over mouth. The cigarette tucked between her fingers is just about out, and I wonder if she's going to light another one. Did you... Victoria starts to say something, and I see this crease between her brows that tapers off into an unintelligible mutter. Huh? What was that? Victoria blows out a breath through her mouth, all smoke. It's distracting. Never mind. It was something entirely stupid. All that does is make me even more concerned. Victoria doesn't usually censor herself, at least not this openly. I bet it's not. It is. Come on, Victoria. I say stupid things all the time. I think I'm winning because Victoria's lips form an amused smile at the words. That's a good point. She shuts her eyes briefly, expression falling again. Fine. There's a beat of silence, and Victoria sits up briefly to throw her cigarette outside on the pavement. Did you have a good time? Oddly enough, that's the last thing I expected from her. There's that crease between her brows again that I could have easily mistaken for concern. Or, no, I think it really is concern this time. I almost forget to respond, the idea making me still with surprise. Huh? That's it? The muscles in Victoria's jaw stiffen, and she shoots me an annoyed glare. What do you mean, that's it? No, nothing bad. You were just kind of acting like it was something worse. This time I'm positive it's not the moon playing tricks on me. There's this flush on her cheeks. It might be from anger, but I'm not totally positive. I'm not totally positive about a lot of things, especially regarding Victoria. Did you have a good time? Yeah, I did. Victoria seems to be more concerned with helping other people, making other people have a good time. But This just seems like a derailing question. I don't want to do that one. Did you? That would be nice too, to make sure that she is catered to as well. Like it's not a selfish thing. I mean, this just straight up answers her question. This kind of dodges it. And she doesn't like dodging questions. I'm just gonna go with yeah. Well, yeah, I did. I just wasn't really expecting any of that. That's it? There's this dip in Victoria's voice that surprises me, and I tilt my head a little hard there. Huh? Oh, did I fuck up? Probably. Damn it. Oh well. Victoria shakes her head and says nothing for a second. Forget it. I can't just forget it, not when it seems like she doesn't believe me. She has to know I'm telling the truth. I really did. I had a really good time, Victoria. I'm not surprised it's a shock, though. We didn't really used to get along, right? I have to stop myself for a second there. Didn't used to get along? Does that mean we're really getting along now? And it was actually really fun to see you do your whole fashion thing. Victoria's watching me cautiously. Does she not believe me? After a second, I see some tension drain out of her bunched up muscles, shoulders falling back against the leather of her seat. Thanks, Max. I try. No problem. It's worth it just to see how relaxed Victoria is. Okay, maybe I didn't fuck up. I couldn't have imagined she'd be so worried over something so small. Victoria finally sits up, though, bringing down her mirror and brushing at her hair. We should probably go back inside, before Wells finds us and starts complaining. Or even worse, Madsen. I laugh a little at that, taking the initiative and pulling myself up too. David can be a pain in the ass, yeah. Victoria stops, fixing herself in the tiny mirror. Do I want to know why you sound so familiar with him? Maybe not. It's a long story. Or, just a bunch of tiny ones. I could never resist getting into shenanigans with Chloe, after all. Victoria just shakes her head. Oh, weirdo. I don't want to hear about your weird escapades, flashed the security guard. Ugh, don't put it like that. Victoria flashes me another awkward winning smirk, and then picks up her purse. Come on, let's go back to my room. Wait, what? What? Don't give me that look. We still have a few things we have to talk about for tomorrow. Unless you'd rather not. Victoria looks away, and I'm not sure how to respond. She wants me to come with her? Yes! At this point, I'm not exactly opposed to spending more time with her, so it doesn't take long to give her my answer. No, sure, I guess you're right. Victoria seems satisfied, nodding. Of course I am. The walk from the car to Victoria's room was kind of a blur, making me think that I'm way more exhausted than I thought. It's not like I can exactly do anything about it now, not when I already agreed to come with Victoria. And maybe it's not so bad, especially when I get to sit down on Victoria's really, really soft couch. Alright, journal time. We left off... Here? I think so. Right, guess there's a first for everything, or this is an omen of the oncoming apocalypse. Yeah. October 8th, later. So with a golden opportunity to voice my thoughts to the Vortex Queen, I took it. She let me pick a location for our contest photo, and was cool with me taking her there to check it out. I directed us to the boardwalk, and I completely expected her to make fun of me for my choice, but she actually seemed kind of begrudgingly impressed, if not bland is a positive thing. Oh, I read this page already. Drawing, okay. October 9th. Victoria woke me up at 8 in the freaking morning, and got me into her car before I was even fully awake. She wound up taking me downtown, which was very, Victoria-like. Arcadia's Bay's tiny little downtown is the only place I think someone like her wouldn't be entirely embarrassed to go shopping. I imagine she probably gets most of her clothes in Seattle, though. Get this, she bought me an outfit. I have no idea what the fuck her game is, except that I'm apparently going to be modeling for her contest photo, so I did what any reasonably confused person would do and went quid pro quo. When I gave her the figurine I found, she had this kind of weird, embarrassed reaction that was actually kind of cute. What the fuck? Drawing of Chloe with blue for her hair and a We wound up just relaxing in her car once we were parked back at school and watching the stars come out. It was actually kinda nice. I can't believe I just wrote that. Victoria did everything she could to make me uncomfortable last year with her crankiness, so being able to just chill with her was like waking up on a different planet. Alright, cool. Alright, it's a really, really soft couch. Even if this thing probably costs way more than my entire life. I've been in here once before, thanks to one of Juliet and Dana's little scuffles. I shouldn't be surprised that it feels totally different to actually have been invited in instead of having to sneak in here myself. But that was just one time, and it was for a good cause. Still, good cause or not, that's still probably one of the things I should never let Victoria find out. Maybe sometime in the future, if we're actually still friends after this. That'd be nice. Please don't tell me you're falling asleep on me, Max. It's been like 5 minutes. After dumping her stuff on the table, Victoria finally sits down next to me, prompting me to sit up a little. I'm not. Your sofa is just super comfortable. Well, obviously. I know that. I huff at her, sitting up even straighter for her benefit, even rubbing my eyes and rolling my shoulders for extra effect. Better? Victoria hums, seemingly placated. I fight back an amused smile. If you want my attention so badly, you could just say so. So, the contest. What do you want to talk about first? The concept? The composition? I just throw out ideas at her, watching her carefully. In all actuality, I'm waiting to see what she has to say. There's no way she'd invite me completely out of the blue. Not if she didn't have something in mind. No, well, not entirely. It's about the rules for the contest. It's bullshit, but we missed something. That gets my attention. We missed something? Are you for real? I don't want to sound like I'm doubting her, but that just sounds wrong. Especially since I know Victoria's probably poured more of her attention into the rules than me. Victoria frowns openly at me, clicking her tongue. Yes. Okay, so what is it? I'm nervous, but it's better to get it over with as quick as possible, like ripping off a band-aid or something. Even if Victoria's probably a lot worse than a band-aid. It's about our submission. I don't know if you've cared to notice, but there's a problem. Namely, who's going to be the one to actually submit their photo? Oh. Oh no. Yeah, Max. Oh. She sounds just as exasperated as I expected. It doesn't bother me, considering I can tell she's stressed out. That, and I'm trying not to let her know how anxious I am, too. That's a problem, because you're not leaving your camera, and I'm not leaving mine. Duh. I don't think I could stand to see you without that clunky-ass Polaroid, either. Victoria sighs long and hard, and I bite my lip. I really couldn't see you without some designer camera, either. I'd be dead before that happened. Trust me, I don't doubt it. As soon as Victoria smirks at my response, we're back to a stretch of silence that makes my stomach clench uneasily. So, what are you saying we should do? Victoria inhales once, turning to face me, giving me so much attention that it only really makes me feel more anxious. Chill out, Max. What's the worst she can say? We've gotten this far together without slaying each other. What else? We'll choose the best photograph out of the both of ours at the end of our shoot. Unless you have a better idea. That almost makes it sound like a competition. Which is what I'm sure we're not supposed to do. I grasp at my forearm, furrowing my brows at Victoria. She stares at me blankly, huffing at me. No. It's like we aren't going to be working together. 'Cause obviously we are. I'll be there to give you pointers and keep you from getting too retro trash on me. She pauses. And I guess you can give me tips or whatever. Oh. I watch Victoria's eyes shift to her nails, picking at them. Still, that doesn't discount the fact that it might be yours. As soon as I admit to that, I internally grimace. Way to throw your insecurities out there, Max. I'm sure Victoria finds that real charming. All I can do is quietly curse myself out for being a total loser, while Victoria's giving me the blankest look, for a second. Oh hell no, Max. Don't you dare pull that shitty, insecure, shy hipster fucking garbage on me. Seriously, your lack of confidence in yourself is astounding sometimes. Hey! Immediately I try to defend myself, clutching at my bag strapped tightly. Victoria silences me with a wave of her hand. No, you listen to me. I don't know if it's some kind of act or not, but you're trying to make somebody pity you and cry for the poor, awkward geek. What I do know is you have to cut it the hell out. Victoria narrows her eyes at me, and I forget to breathe as she's speaking. You're actually talented. God knows why you out of literally anyone in this disappointing excuse of a school. Why do you think Mixed Dog gives you everything? This time, there's a crack to those words that makes me stiffen. Victoria bites her lip, continuing on with just as much fire. Because you actually have style. Well, your photos do. But you never fucking do anything with it. You just sit and tuck in your stupid shoulders every day like you aren't even trying. It should be so easy for you. My tongue feels like it's stuck to the roof of my mouth, and I know I can't just not respond. It's just there's something so inherently intense about Victoria. She looks so frustrated, so upset. The side of her jaw is tense, and she's scowling somewhere else, somewhere across the room. Alright, let's see. Are you upset I'm actually good? That seems like just pitting each other against one another. I don't want to do that one. I've never been confident. That's just being honest. Max does not have a lot of self-confidence. I'm trying. That is also kind of true. We're just gonna go plain facts. Confidence, yeah. Let's make the topic confidence. Sorry, I haven't exactly been the most confident person. When I say that, I know I sound sarcastic, but it's true. I haven't. Ugh. No one starts off confident. No one. You don't just wake up with an enormous ego. She stops, closing her eyes and inhaling softly, just to exhale a slow little huff. There's something about the sight that makes my heart ache. You're not special for not feeling confident in yourself. It's just annoying if you don't make an effort to amend that, because, God, Max, you'll never get anywhere if you don't at least pretend you are. I'm not sure what you want me to do. It's my turn to sound exasperated after Victoria's verbal scolding. I anxiously knock my feet against each other. Victoria pinches the bridge of her nose, shaking her head. Maybe I want you to stop moping around and make an effort for, once. I purse my lips, watching the irritated way Victoria drops her hand onto her knee, tapping her nails impatiently against her kneecap. Sorry, I didn't know I pissed you off that much. I know what Victoria's getting at, but that doesn't make it any easier to not be defensive. Victoria freezes, dragging her eyes back to me. She bites down on her tongue. No, you're missing the entire point. Tense as always. It's not you. You know... Victoria deflates, almost, resting her elbows against her knees. Seeing her slouch like that feels odd. Vulnerable. You're actually one of the most talented people here. I don't really give a shit about anyone else, considering how mediocre they all are. For an art school, the competition is laughable. There's hardly any, except... Victoria throws me a sideways glance that makes me hold my breath. But, whatever, it's none of my business if you want to waste your fucking potential and everyone's time. As quickly as she threw all of this at me, now she's reeling back. I should have expected it, actually. So I fumbled to stop her. No, I get it. You put so much effort into everything you do, Victoria, so I can kind of get how douchey it is. But it's not like I'm intentionally trying to piss you off. I sighed, lighting the inside of my cheek when I see her lip twitch. That's not the point. No, it kind of is. I do see what you mean. I'm not going to apologize for all that, because you might not know, but I have been working on it. That's why I'm here working with you. Victoria's eyes widen, and she narrows them again, and stares ahead of her. That's fair. It is. That comes out firmer than I intended, and I hear Victoria exhale loudly. I wouldn't be here if I didn't make an effort. Victoria mumbles so softly I almost miss it. Contrary to popular belief, I don't just have everything handed to me. I'm just another young, aspiring, stupidly hopeful photographer trying to get people to notice me. I know how hard it is, so... And you do. I blurt out without much tact, although it's not like I ever had much of it before anyway. Victoria goes taut, stiffening up. You're such a good photographer. Everyone knows it. Her lips twitch a little, and I pretend not to notice. Of course she couldn't resist getting her ego stroked. It doesn't bother me at all. That's why I'm really nervous. Going against you and stuff. She doesn't exactly respond quickly, and that's fine. I pick at some non-existent fuzz on my jeans, waiting. Are you kissing my ass? I seriously can't help the laughter that comes out of my throat, and Victoria gives me a dry scoff in return. Maybe? Is it working? No! That's what she says, but the stubborn hint of a smile on her lips gives it away. That makes me feel all the lighter. It's so unusual seeing Victoria so vulnerable, and I wonder just how much she actually thinks about this stuff. But the way she puts it, it's no wonder she's always so mean. It's just, she's just trying to get on top. Which is no excuse, obviously, but it puts a lot into perspective. Even if she has no reason to be, I don't think she realizes that with all her talent, she doesn't actually have to tear anyone down. Unless she doesn't believe in it herself. Max! I can't stop the surprised jerk of my shoulders when Victoria calls for me, and I realize I've been staring at her this whole time. Luckily for me, she's still staring at the coffee table, elbows still resting on her knees. Yeah? Victoria doesn't speak, and I'm convinced she has nothing to say until she leans back against the couch with a sigh. Just checking that you're, still with me. Where else would I be? Touché. Somewhere in that blank head of yours. I smile, raising my brows at her. Kind of. I'm just thinking about you. Way to be creepy, Max. Shit. I glance across the room and attempt to scour out something that'll maybe ease the tension a little, and keep me from saying something lame instead. Oh shit, there's no way I could pass that up. Trying to figure out what anime that's from. I gesture to a boxed-up figurine standing a little too proudly on Victoria's desk. You'd better not be screwing around with me, Caulfield. I'm not. I'm totally serial. Victoria bites her lip and rolls her eyes. Yeah, whatever. You seriously don't know. I smile sheepishly at her. Victoria raises a brow and then laughs quietly under her breath. Unbelievable. It's from Princess Mononoke, which, before you ask, is a movie, not an anime. You can interrupt, sure. It takes a lot not to laugh at the way she says that. Go, Elric, you have interruptions. Go, go, go. I am keeping an eye on chat, and I'm trying to respond to things in a timely manner without, interrupting myself mid-sentence. But it's a pretty slow night. I think it's a Wednesday in real life, right? Well, it's Thursday now because it's after midnight. 20 freaking members! Cool! Yay, Galaxian! Sorry I haven't been on that a whole lot. I didn't play it all yesterday, and today I played just enough to get Kudosh some stuff, and it was incredibly frustrating. So, that's probably all I'm gonna have done. I'm not getting back on there today. But yay! Yay, Galaxian! That's awesome! We just need to get people to do the dailies, do the faction dailies, get the stuff in there, get that rank up. Alright, takes a lot not to laugh at the way she says that. Sorry, I've never heard of it. Chloe and I haven't watched anime since we were kids. With that obnoxiously blue hair, I'm surprised you both still don't. Victoria smirks, and I try not to grin too much. Can't wait to tell Chloe that one. Yeah, I know, but I guess I'm kind of into other stuff now. Victoria turns to me, our knees bumping into each other. Like? I scratch at the back of my head, humming and trying to will myself to think of something at least kind of interesting. Like sci-fi and stuff. Oh, that's kinda cool. The last big flick I think I saw was Final Fantasy and Spirits Within. It was good. Victoria lifts her hand to stop me, grimacing so openly I'm convinced I just actually heard her. Please tell me you're joking. That's literally the worst film I, and the entire world, has ever had to lay their eyes on. Victoria, you need to shut up. You need to shut up. I love that movie too, Victoria. You need to not. No. Shh. No. I'm torn between the fact that she watched it and the fact that she hated it, and I gawk for a second before frowning. No way, it wasn't that bad. You're good with a camera, but you have shitty taste in cinematic works. Of course. Victoria stands up before I can respond, and I watch her cross over to the other side of her room, to her laptop. What are you doing? What do you think? We're watching quality cinema. Victoria, without looking up, gestures to the figurine from before. Meanwhile, I almost choke. Right now? What, are you busy? I bite my lip thinking about the fact that I could probably be sleeping instead. In fact, I should. But I guess not. We're watching it on your laptop? Victoria sighs. Duh. Where else? I watch Victoria fiddle around with her laptop, pause, and then turn to me. I don't want to be super picky or anything, but I can't help that I've been totally eyeing that tasty plasma TV. Victoria notices this too, this time. Oh my god. Her gaze goes from me to the TV and I manage a sheepish grin, ducking my head down a little. It'd be a real shame if, Oh hell no, Caulfield. You did not just come in here for my equipment. I know she's not serious, because there's no venom to those words. I didn't, I swear. Isn't it just a bigger shame you aren't going to let me enjoy quality cinema on that? Victoria crosses her arms, eyes narrowed to slits. Touché, Max. So that's a yes. Victoria rolls her eyes, shutting her laptop and going through her drawers instead. Bring my blanket over to the couch. The command is pretty self-explanatory, but it still manages to surprise me. You're cold? No, I want to be comfortable. She pauses. If you don't want to be, then we won't share. There's no way I could pass this up. Eventually, we're settled on our couch, light off, with Victoria draping the blanket over us both. At first, I keep my distance, and I see Victoria frown. She lifts the blanket in a way I almost mistake as inviting. Jesus, this thing isn't huge. Come closer. I don't know. I'm not totally confident you won't bite. Oh my god. She snorts, shaking her head. Please, you wish. My heart does a little flip in my chest, so instead of answering, I just scoot closer to her. She drapes the blanket over my shoulders when I'm close, and I bite my lip. I'm so close I can feel the warmth radiating from her skin. She's doing a better job at warming me up than the blanket is. I'm starting it, so could you actually pay attention for once? I am. I'm not that out of it. Kind of. Plus, it'd be a waste of this tasty plasma. Please never say that again. She snorts, pressing play. And just a few minutes in, and it's already way obvious I'm not paying attention. Not only do I have no clue what's going on, I'm way more focused on the weight of Victoria's leg against mine, and the way she has her arm draped behind me, resting on the couch. It's comfortable. She's comfortable. Who would have thought? I can't find it in myself to find that thought weird at all in the darkness of the room. Just like in the car, it feels like it's just the two of us, except this time it really is. You're not falling asleep, are you? Victoria clears her throat, shifting next to me. I burrow my fingers into the blanket, trying to focus on the characters on the screen and the white subtitles on the bottom. I lose track again when I feel Victoria's arm shift behind my shoulders. No, no way. Not when I'm trying to control the beating of my heart. Thursday! Oh man, they totally fell asleep together. That's so cute. Let's read the read the thing. Alright, read that. Okay, read that. Alright, we wound up just relaxing in our car once we were parked back at school and watching the stars come out. It was actually kinda nice. I can't believe I just wrote that. Wait, so being able to just chill is like waking up on a different planet. I already read that. She invited me to come hang out in her room, which was the biggest what the fuck I've ever experienced in my short life. We've lived across the hall from one another since last year, but we're not exactly friendly neighbors. So, we were sitting in her room together, talking about the contest. So surreal. She pointed out something I hadn't thought about, that we can only enter one photo in the contest. We both have cameras, and our own opinions, and our own visions. but we can only enter one pick. Fuck. After tearing into me, she seems so uneasy. Picture of Dana dancing. Alright. I guess it's starting to hit me now that Victoria is not exactly the person I thought she was. Or maybe we just never tried to get along enough before to see beyond the surface of one another? IDK. But I could get used to the new Victoria Chase. I wouldn't call her nice, but she hasn't been outright mean to me either. Maybe we could be friends. Okay, yeah, no. Never mind. Now I know I'm definitely losing it. We're teaming up for the contest. I've got to keep my mind focused on that. I know she is, and that she'll go back to her usual self once it's over. Triangle of money! Alright, so. Thursday morning. I'm stirred awake by the muffled vibration of my cell phone against my leg, which is weird, considering I usually leave it on my nightstand, not in my pocket. I furrow my brows when it gives another ring, exhaling and curling closer to the warmth of my blanket. I am super warm. Like, really warm. It's a little weird too, I guess. I'm so tired. I can't bring myself to care a whole lot, not even when my phone vibrates again. And someone's wrapping their arm around my waist. Hold on, what? My eyes shoot open, heart lurching right into my throat when I'm greeted by the sight of a tuft of blonde hair and Victoria's sleeping face. Way too close to mine, actually. She's totally knocked out, lips parted and face free of tension. Holy shit, I fell asleep in Victoria's room? I can feel all the heat rushing to my face, and I hold my breath, like that'll do anything. If Victoria was going to wake up, she probably would have already, huh? Regardless, I can't stop myself from gulping hard. Now that I'm actually paying attention, I realize the position we're in. That's Victoria's arm, around my waist. Oh god, oh my god. No wonder I'm so warm. It's hard not to be when your partner is tucked really, really securely against your side. I bite my lip, totally aware now of the little puffs of breath that come from Victoria's lips brushing against my cheek. Awesome! I fell asleep on her yesterday. Smooth, Max! Taking about another second to gather myself, I finally glance around the room. Judging by the sunlight streaming through Victoria's window, it's probably the morning. I know I fell asleep last night, but why didn't Victoria just wake me up? Out of all people, I thought she'd be the one to boot me out first. Instead, I'm on her bed. On her bed? I could have sworn we were on the couch last night. Oh, jeez. I whisper without thought, pausing when Victoria sniffs and shifts next to me. The last thing I want to do is wake her up. I do turn my head to glance at her, though. My nose brushes against some of her hair. I get a strong whiff of something sweet. Wowzers. She even went as far as to bring me to her bed when she totally could have left me on the couch. I don't know how she did it, but she did. I wonder what was going through her mind. But of course she wouldn't just let me have the bed all to myself. I don't blame her. I couldn't see her sleeping on the couch either. I can't help but smile a bit, my tension easing up immensely. So Victoria does have a heart, under all those mean remarks. Well, of course, especially after yesterday. Speaking of yesterday, I'm not surprised at Victoria's way of showing she cares, by totally calling me out. I carefully reach into my pocket for my phone, sticking my tongue out in concentration while I do. Victoria shifts a little, and I freeze, but eventually I manage to whisk it out. Oh, just texts from Mom and Dad, wishing me luck today. Thanks, parents. Unfortunately, I frown when I read the time, 9 o'clock. It sucks, but I should probably wake her up. The sunlight streaming through her windows is an indication that pretty soon it'll be the perfect time for a shoot. Victoria looks so comfortable, like she's got no worries at all. It's nice to see her without that scowl on her face, or that real arrogant smirk she throws around. Should I? We need to wake her up. We need to. We need to do it for the photo shoot. She'd understand. She'd be angry if we missed the golden opportunity. Bonus photo unlocked? Oh boy! Alright, no matter how tempting it is, I definitely should wake her up. She might be pretty pissed off if she finds out that I woke up and didn't tell her. I take one last minute to bask in the glory of sleeping Victoria, before I reach and jostle her awake gently, shaking her arm. Hey, Victoria. Victoria groans, furrowing her brows and burrowing into me further. I tense up and bite my lip, feeling myself blush so hard I'm confident my head's gonna explode. I had no clue Victoria was such a cuddler. Kind of cute. I'm comfortable too, but we should probably, Victoria finally lifts her head, sleepily glaring at me. It's kind of funny, actually. With all those upturned ends of her hair, there's nothing intimidating about her. I'm not sure what else I expected, but it wasn't this. Probably something dramatic. Instead, she's just scowling at me, for a second at least. Something seems to light up with comprehension in her eyes, and then they widen a little before she's pulling away from me and rubbing at her face. What time is it? Her voice is thick with sleep. It's around 9. In the morning? I raise my brows, and Victoria takes notice, groaning and waving in my direction. Don't answer that. It's too early. It's not that early. Victoria grumbles at that, shooting me a stare that's probably supposed to look more vicious than it is. I never would have pegged Victoria as someone who's not a morning person. With all those times I woke up to her blaring her hi-fi, you'd think the opposite. No, not really. Give me a second to actually wake up, Christ. Victoria turns from me, swinging her legs over the edge of the bed. She rubs at her eyes, and I watch the way the sunlight highlights her messy hair, the curve of her back in her tank top. It looks like the perfect shot. Thankfully, my camera is too far away for me to do anything. I don't think Victoria would be happy if I just snuck a picture of her. I wonder if she knows how camera-worthy she is. So, about last night. You fell asleep, Victoria says plainly, a hint of accusation stuck in there. I was tired. You did keep me out the whole day yesterday. Is that a problem? No, you just didn't give me a heads up. She sighs dramatically. It's not my fault you're weak, Caulfield. Whatever. It was your loss. Oh, right. We didn't get to finish the movie. A real tragedy. Hilarious. Kudos to you. She snorts. Also, wrong. You didn't get to finish. I did. I smile at that, amused. Is that seriously something to be proud of? Are you going to tell me what I missed? Victoria huffs and I watch her run her hands through her bedhead and finally stand up. What? I can't just tell you that. There was too much going on. It won't have the same impact either. The same impact? Really? Victoria goes pink, I think. That can't be a trick of the lights. Yes, thanks for actually, listening. Anyways, I guess you'll just have to come back later. That makes me straighten up, leaning on my elbows. For real? Victoria shrugs, walking away from me and towards her closet. Maybe, if we're actually competent during this photo shoot. Which translates to, if you actually get out of my bed. She might have let me sleep in it, but I should have known better than to think she wouldn't kick me out. Don't worry, I'm going. I stretch, actually sitting up. She's not wrong. We have to actually get ready for the shoot today. The shoot. I run my fingers through my hair idly, blinking at Victoria's back. What she said last night. Was she serious about all that? Victoria actually has faith in me. She trusts me not to screw this up. I don't really know if I trust me not to screw this up either, but the more I think about Victoria's roundabout way of trying to encourage me, the more confident I feel. As for Victoria, with all that, you'd think she's totally prepared, but I can't help but feel like she's just as nervous as I am. You're making that face again. Victoria catches my eye in her mirror, and I straighten my shoulders, staring at attention. Which face? According to you, there's tons of them. Smartass. Victoria turns to me, a hand on her hip. Now that she's facing me, I can see a little furrow in her brow. The dweeby one you get whenever you're ridiculously deep in thought. Wow, thanks. And Victoria hums. Seriously, what is it? Are you ready for today? Are you nervous? Let's bond over our nerves. I was just wondering if you were nervous at all. I don't really expect Victoria to respond, actually. I know that's kind of a personal question. Victoria Chase? Nervous? I don't think I've ever seen her nervous a day in my life. Not out of class, definitely not in class. Victoria watches me and breathes in softly. A little. I have big plans after this if we win. Victoria brushes her hair back, skimming her fingers over her arm after, like she's unsure what to do with it. Are you nervous? I look at her and nod a little. It's hard not to be. I know you have plans, so I've been thinking that this could be... Serious? Yeah, serious. Ugh! There's hardly anything to worry about, Max. Victoria shifts, turning around to stare in the mirror again. Our photos are going to come out fine, especially with moi helping you out. I laugh at the ridiculously dramatic flair to that. Right, I can always trust you. Huh, of course! Who else could help you wiggle out of that hippie style? I push myself off her bed just to look up at her smirking in the mirror. It's not hippie, mostly. It's just normal life. Mundane stuff, every day. Life, Victoria repeats and then scoffs. What a hippie thing to say. Whatever, I say in amusement, reaching for my camera bag on the couch, proof I'd been there last night. I scoop up my new clothes, too. We'll just have to see about our stuff. That we will, Max. Now, you need to actually look good, so go already. Yeah, I'm going. Au revoir. I shut the door after watching her wave me away distractedly. Au revoir, I repeat faintly, heading back across to my room. My footsteps feel so much lighter. Okay, let's see. Any new journal? Yeah, alright. She'll go back to her usual. Okay. October 10th. I woke up in Victoria's room after falling asleep in there, which is definitely in the top 5 list of most alarming moments in my entire life. Hopefully that's the only mortifying morning after I'll ever have to experience. On the bright side, Victoria's kinda cute first thing in the morning. Of course, she got right to drilling at me, wanting to know what was on my mind. I guess my expression made it obvious to her that I was anxious. It's weird that she's so, I don't know if concerned is the word I'm looking for, but it's like she's, well, invested in how this turns out. I don't know if it's more for herself or for the both of us. It's definitely not just for me. Not that it's wrong to be invested in this thing. Partnering with Victoria has just made me even more anxious. It's a drawing of a box of cookies, and the cookies are called doggies. P-A-W-G-I-E-S. Doggies. Alright, so, Thursday. Second to last day. We're at the boardwalk. It's the photo shoot day. We make it to the boardwalk in almost no time at all, thanks to Victoria's nice car and the lack of traffic this early in the morning. Not that traffic is ever much of an issue in Arcadia Bay anyways, but that's not exactly the point. Despite the near stillness of the streets, there's still quite a few people here, making the boardwalk look just lively enough for our shoot. I hope. For Victoria's sake, and mine. I actually can't tell too much, and that worries me. Maybe I should have planned ahead. I didn't exactly think we'd be out here so early, so maybe I'd been too reliant on the hustle and bustle of the boardwalk to get our shoot going. Maybe if we'd slept in a little longer, we wouldn't be having this issue. Oh no! Victoria's bed was super comfy. I seriously wouldn't have minded staying a little longer. Even though I know Victoria's super serious about the shoot, a part of me wishes we could have just slept in for a little while longer. I glance over at her, watching as she shuts off the car, running a hand through her hair. No way! Get your mind out of the gutter, Max. What are you thinking, Max? What were you thinking? The anxiousness crawling down my back makes me bounce my leg a little, and I clutch at my camera bag, ready to get out there and scope out the area. Victoria glances over at me, unbuckling her seatbelt. Christ, you look like you're ready to run a mile a minute. Just ready to go out there and snap some photos. I shrug weakly, and I'm not exactly lying. I just don't feel the need to tell her that I'm worried about her liking the spot I've picked, considering the lack of subjects. Not what I planned at all. Aren't you? Victoria scoffs at me, threading her fingers through her hair and shaking her head at me. Me? Please, I'm more than ready. Don't I look the part? I scoff this time, and when Victoria shoots me a look, I shoot her a little smile in return. What, are you expecting me to tell you how amazing you look? Because I didn't know my opinion mattered that much. Victoria rolls her eyes at me. Not surprising you didn't, considering you don't know a lot of things. Whoa, so not the response I was expecting. Before I can help myself, my lips split into a grin at the implication. So you're saying it does matter to you? Whoa, Victoria, I'm flattered. Victoria's eyes widen, and then she scowls at me. I know for a fact that my eyes aren't deceiving me this time when I see her cheeks flush pink. Way to go, Mad Max. Made her blush. Oh, shut up. I didn't mean that. I open my mouth to say something else, but Victoria clears her throat loudly at me, cutting me off. Enough about that. We have actual, real important matters to discuss. About you, in particular. About me? Yeah, about you. Victoria gives me a once-over again, and honestly, it doesn't help my nerves in the least. You are nervous. Oh, I rub at the back of my neck, shrugging my shoulders weakly again. I should have known Victoria would catch on. She's not exactly stupid. Not that I make it hard anyways, at the frequency my leg is bouncing. I can't help it. I'm just full of energy to burn. A little. Without any warning, Victoria reaches over to stop my leg, pressing it down firmly against the seat. I fight the desire to blush. It doesn't really work, and I just feel my ears heat up to the touch. My leg is totally trapped, all because Victoria is literally holding it down. Obviously, but I seriously doubt vibrating like an energized puppy, she taps her fingers twice against my knee, like you've been doing all morning, is going to make this any easier. Victoria removes her hand from my knee and opens the car door, sliding out smoothly, like she hadn't just forced me to stop vibrating. Except it totally worked. I know, I guess you're right. I push open the door, fumbling with my bag for an instant before I actually manage to get out. You guess? I am. In any case, shouldn't I be the one freaking out? Victoria places a hand on her hip, raising a brow at me. I raise a brow in return, waiting for her explanation. Since I let you drag me here in the first place. Oh, of course you try to pull something like that. All I do is grin. You let me? I'm pretty sure I didn't drag you here. You let me pick, you know. What happened to giving my amateur tastes a chance, huh? I watch Victoria try to swallow back a smile, and it totally reaches her lips anyways. Technicalities, Max. And there she goes, waving her hand at me dismissively, her eyes scanning the boardwalk like she's looking for something in particular. I don't know if she's finding it because I follow her lead, my gaze landing on the few people milling up and down the boardwalk. I recognize some as students from Blackwell, most of which I don't really talk to. Others are just locals, most of which are fishermen. Today it's... Victoria doesn't immediately come up with anything to say, and that's worrying in itself. I scan her face, catching a little crease between her brows. You'd think there'd be a lot more people here. It's just right for our shoot. It's a little boring here. Don't say that! Don't do it! Just right for our shoot, that's a little dishonest in both of your opinions. You'd think there'd be a lot more people here. It's early morning on a Thursday. Would you really think there'd be more people here? Let's just go with this. Let's go with it's right. Alright, F-U's. Have a good night. Alright, we're gonna go with forced confidence. We're doing it. Just right? I offer, even though I'm completely positive that's not at all what Victoria's trying to say. Not if I'm judging the look on her face correctly. Victoria turns to look at me, tucking her brows together. Not exactly what I was getting at, but sure. Well, sure, it's not what I was going for, but... I scratch at my head, checking our surroundings again. There's definitely enough to work with, and even if there's not, I'm pretty sure that me and you can pull anything off. Victoria blinks, seemingly almost shocked again. I fight the urge to flush red at my genuine statement, but I mean it. After everything Victoria said, I'm not going to back out now. I refuse to. I like the sound of that. Looks like you're finally pulling your head out of your ass, Max. Hey! Victoria smirks at me. I'm being completely serious. Confidence sits you well. The way Victoria says that makes me bite my lip, smiling at the assertion. I like the sound of that too. At the very least, Victoria's clear faith in us helps to ease out some of the tension I'm feeling. We can do this. I know we can do this. It's no time for me to be wallowing in whatever stupid self-doubt I have. We won't get anywhere like that. My first instinct is to reach for my camera bag, though I'm very promptly stopped when Victoria puts her hand on my arm. Not so fast, Caulfield. I tilt my head at her, and I wonder if she can actually see the question marks above my head. I think she wants to get right into it. She's staring down at me curiously, a slight slant to her lips. What's the problem this time? Ugh, wow. I'm kidding. What is it? I just have something I want to ask you. I retract my hand from my camera bag, and I think that makes Victoria realize she's still got her hand laid over mine. She pulls it away quickly, instead moving to lean on the trunk of her car, like that makes whatever she's going to say next any less intimidating. I cross my arms over my chest, waiting patiently. Go for it. I wanted to ask you why you care so much about... Victoria gestures to our surroundings. I assume she's talking about the people, or, lack, in this case. Oh. It's for your benefit, or I wanted you to like it. I wanted you to like it, because I'm starting to like you. That's how it's going in this playthrough. Maybe it's because I actually wanted you to, I don't know, like it? Since you let me pick, I didn't want to bring you somewhere that, you know... I trail off dumbly, realizing that it sounds a lot more ridiculous when I say it out loud like that. That and Victoria staring at me oddly, eyebrows raised. She crossed her arm, breathing in softly and releasing it in a slow sigh. You... what? Wanted my approval? Wow, geez, that makes it sound so official. Victoria snorts softly. If not that, then what? I just didn't want you to be disappointed. I thought it'd be nice if this made you... I shrug, rubbing at the back of my neck and ignoring the way my mouth felt as dry as sandpaper. Happy? Victoria straightens at my words, and I hear her take a deep breath. Oh. Christ, Max. It's... Victoria has to collect herself, and really I'm not in a rush. When she finally does manage something, she heaves an almost annoyed sigh. Ugh, it's seriously not that big a deal. It's not. It's not. Victoria flicks her wrist at me, resting her elbow against her car and standing up straighter. Sure, this place isn't like fucking Seattle or something. I know. But people are not. Like I said literally a few minutes ago, it hardly matters. Whether or not there are any idiots around to photograph, it's not going to stop us from taking remarkable images. Huh, yeah, I guess you're right. I avert my gaze from Victoria almost bashfully at the smug smirk she gives me. Of course I'm right. Just remember, Max, all these people aren't my partner. You are. I'm silent for a second, and I can't help myself. I laugh a little, although I feel my ears heating up, my face flushing red at the way Victoria says that. I can't help but I love the way that sounds. Victoria, I'm sorry, but that was pretty tacky, like super cheesy. Victoria blushes a little too brightly, and it makes me grin again, taking control of the situation. What? Fuck off. Oh my god. Ungrateful. No, it's fine. It was kind of cute. That seriously came out without me having to think about it, and even I'm surprised about it, but at the same time, I'm not so worried about Victoria's reaction. Uh-oh. Victoria's eyes widen and she covers her face with her hand, scowling in the other direction. You're the worst. I take it all back. You can't. It's too late. You're stuck with me. From behind Victoria's hand, she snorts. Fuck, unfortunately. Yeah, okay, sure, Victoria. I'm totes aware that I've probably got the stupidest grin on my face. And then I remember we should probably make an effort to start our project now that we've actually completely settled down. I take a few steps back, prompting Victoria to follow me with a raised brow. So, I know it's no Seattle, but we should probably get started. Victoria hums in agreement at that, and we take the time to pace down the boardwalk, similarly quiet in our search for the perfect shot. Or maybe that's too ambitious. At this point, we're just trying to find anything to look at. Victoria? Something's been bugging me ever since she brought it up earlier, and maybe it shouldn't, but when she mentioned Seattle, I couldn't help myself. What? Victoria's response is curt, and I frown at the sound. I don't exactly respond quick, prompting her to turn to me. She pauses, and then sighs, speaking easier. I can tell she's tense despite all that talk from earlier. Sorry, what is it? I was wondering. About? Seattle. You came from there, right? Victoria seems to be taken completely off guard at the question. She shrugs after a moment. Yeah, what about it? The thought of Seattle makes me feel unsure, an awkward discomfort settling in the pit of my stomach. So in all actuality, I'm not sure what I'm actually asking about, just that I wanted to know something about it. Well, do you really think it's better than Arcadia Bay? You're just full of loaded questions today. Victoria speaks cautiously, and then she purses her lips. I do, I guess. It's hopelessly plain here. At the thought of that comparison, I hum almost absent-mindedly. All I can do is grasp at the strap of my bag. Ever since I moved here, I haven't really given thought about it much. Probably for the best, I think. It's not like I'd left much behind. I'd only really had Fernando and Kristen to keep me company, and as amazing friends as they'd been, coming back to Chloe had far outweighed that. I almost feel like an asshole for thinking like that. I guess so, you're right, that there's way more to look at over there. And you'd know that how? It takes me a second to process Victoria's question, and then I stop and turn to face her, my eyes wide. Wait, did you think I've lived here my whole life? What? Victoria stops, and for a second I watch her sputter helplessly. Oh my goodness. Are you telling me you haven't? I grin wryly at her. Sorry to disappoint, but nope. Oh. It's actually pleasant to hear Victoria stumped for once, like she's totally at a loss with this information. Or maybe at not knowing it. As great as it is to have her speechless, I decided to help her out. Yeah, I used to live up in Seattle until I came back here. You came back? For Blackwell, I'm assuming. At that, I can't help it. My smile drops a little, and I run my thumb anxiously down the strap of my bag. She's right, of course, and she totally knows it's right. It wouldn't bother me so much if it didn't make me remember all the grief I'd caused Chloe. Kind of? There was also Chloe. Right, Chloe. Victoria grinds that out as sarcastically as she can, and it actually makes me wince slightly. She seems to catch on to my reaction, though, and surprisingly I watch her sigh and soften up. Please, don't even. Are you seriously telling me you came back for Chloe? Maybe? Blackwell is a big deal, Max. An old best friend isn't. No, Victoria's wrong about that. Even if I did initially come back because I'd heard about Blackwell, that doesn't mean... That's not true. Victoria tenses, and then suddenly she places her hand onto my arm. Something about the gesture is so off that my irritation is replaced with confusion. Chill, that's not what I meant. What I meant is that, for fuck's sake, Max, it's not a crime for you to put your own aspirations first. People talk so much shit about being selfish, but that doesn't mean you're not allowed to be. Victoria speaks quickly, although her voice is low and gentle, like she's trying to get it all into my skull. I swallow dryly. I guess so. But at the same time, I can't help but feel a little bad. You know? Victoria purses her lip at me, sliding her hand down my arm. Apparently not that much, though I understand what you're trying to get at. Your insistence on being so kind is fucking nauseating, Max. Well, have you ever considered that your insistence on being mean is too? I tease, but there's something deeply serious about it. Victoria watches me and then snaps her jaw shut like she's got nothing to say. For a second. Maybe we both have things to learn. Do you think? Maybe, but right now I'd rather focus on this. Victoria changes the subject so quickly I can't even be sure she said it. Not that it matters. Not when I already know about it. I smile, scratching at the back of my neck. You're right, but I was thinking... Victoria groans, as melodramatic as ever, wrinkling her nose at me. Something you've been doing too much of today, apparently. Quit it, I'm being serious. Mostly. My stomach growls dangerously and Victoria freezes for a second. She catches my gaze and I blush a little. Oh, are you? She quips sarcastically and I offer her a sheepish grin. We might work better on a full stomach. God, you're a mess. The words come out in a little sigh, and I think they almost sound fonder than they should be. Without any more complaining, she waves her hand at me. Your choice, Max. Oh, Thursday's gonna be long in this playthrough. After we got something to eat, I ended up being able to convince Victoria to loosen up a bit and check out the shops with me. I thought it'd be better off that way, since we obviously weren't finding anything before. In a sense, it did. We spent so much time window shopping and browsing that before we knew it, the sun was high in the sky and the wooden planks are filled with pedestrians. At least as much as it will be. The plus to all of this is that Victoria seems a lot more at ease now. Victoria's walking up ahead of me, and I've got my camera in my hands. It usually feels heavy when I'm burdened by the thought of an assignment, but right now it feels light. I'm not really focused on anything in particular as I look through my viewfinder. I'm just imagining photos that could be, testing the lighting. And then Victoria whirls around to face me, mouth open, hand on her hip. Where exactly do you want to go next? And my finger presses down on the shutter. The reaction is so instinctive, so immediate, that I don't even realize I've taken a picture until I'm faced with Victoria's wide eyes through my viewfinder. Did you just... Lowering my camera, I bite my lip and take the photo from my camera, waving it once, twice. When I check, I'm pressed up real close against her side to peer over her shoulder. In retrospect, this feels a lot more intimate than it should. Maybe not us sitting like this, but just me being here with Victoria in the first place. I'm used to just seeing the Vortex Club obnoxiously taking up this space whenever we're out of class, during the mornings or at lunch, all huddled up, laughing at whatever. Of course, Victoria's included in that too. Now instead of her sitting here with them, it's with me. Hello, Max, are you even listening? Huh? Yeah, Victoria squints at me suspiciously, pulling her fingers back from where she'd been prodding at one of my photographs. When I check, it's nothing special, just a general landscape shot of the boardwalk itself. Okay, one of our legs, little squares against the green lawn. In contrast, Victoria just has her camera on her lap, open to the camera roll. I'm pressed up real close against her side to peer over her shoulder. In retrospect, this feels a lot more intimate than it should. Maybe not us sitting like this, but just me being here with Victoria in the first place. I'm used to just seeing the Vortex Club obnoxiously taking up this space whenever we're out of class, during the mornings or at lunch, all huddled up, laughing at whatever. Of course, Victoria's included in that too. Now instead of her sitting here with them, it's with me. Hello, Max, are you even listening? Huh? Yeah, Victoria squints at me suspiciously, pulling her fingers back from where she'd been prodding at one of my photographs. When I check, it's nothing special, just a general landscape shot of the boardwalk itself. Okay, not convincing. What did I just say? How much you like that one? I tease and Victoria laughs in disbelief. You wish. Ooh, so you're saying you don't? Victoria hums instead of giving me a real solid response, and I roll my eyes at her. Okay, so maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I so am right now. Sure you are, only because I had to jerk you back into reality. She knocks my arm with hers, and I huff softly, mock offended. A pout makes its way onto my lips. I am! After the shoot, Victoria had seemed a lot more relaxed. Or, like, I guess the atmosphere is just more relaxed in general. I'm definitely not as tense as before either. Maybe it's the fact that all we have left to do is choose between our photos. I seriously thought that'd be a lot more stressful. It's not. At least Victoria doesn't make it stressful. Stress-free or not, I rub up my eyes and try to focus. We have to pick something for our submission. And now Victoria's staring right at me again, real serious. With how close we are, all I can do is manage a sheepish smile. Okay, what is it? I want to know, just for reference, which one is your favorite? I blink at the question, not really sure I've heard it right. Victoria puts her camera down between our knees. My favorite? Like, which one I think looks the best? Not exactly, though that is important. I mean personal preference. That's not really a hard question to answer, not at all. I already know exactly which photo comes to mind. It's just a little embarrassing to admit. I lean back on my hands and I draw in a long breath of air to prepare myself for the inevitable post-answer explanation. Well, it's actually... It takes me a moment to lean forward again, just so I can tap my finger against the one showcasing Victoria, where she's turned to me, ready to speak and highlighted by the pedestrians behind her. That one! There's this hesitant pause in her breath, and I rest my palm against my jeans, rubbing my hand down them. Yeah, definitely. What about yours? I counter before she can grill me about my choice. Not sure that I can handle that just yet. Victoria straightens her shoulders, tensing up. I can feel it right against my side. She heaves a huge sigh, and just from that I can tell she's not particularly confident about any of them. Out of mine? Fucking none. There's a note of irritation to her voice, backed with just the slightest disappointment. I frown, peering back down at her digital camera. None? No way! They're so good! She pauses and hesitates. I know they're good, but they're not amazing or anything. I don't see anything special in them, nothing particularly remarkable. Just then she deflates a little. She sags down slightly, grimacing down at her camera and turning her head away from me. Victoria, it's whatever. I was thinking. I want you to submit yours instead. My heart freezes up in my chest at the words, and I sit up straighter. What? Victoria glances at me, swallowing dryly and running her fingers through her bangs. I watch the action, watch the apprehension flash over her face. What, Max? Are you, like, milking this for all it's worth? Defensive as ever, and I shake my head quickly. I said you should submit yours. Sorry, I'm just surprised. Oh, and why is that? We've talked about this. There's this curiosity in her tone, but it's laced with something miffed, something wary. She curls her fingers up in her cashmere sweater, and I bite the inside of my cheek. She's nervous, I think. Alright, said okay. I thought your photos looked amazing too. I thought we'd look over them longer. We've already established that. I'd just be repeating it. So let's mention that we might ponder these more, we might talk about them more. I don't know, I just thought we'd look over them longer. It feels a little rushed to be picking it right now. Victoria doesn't look amused at all. Rushed? It's not. I'm just calling it as I see it. And as I see it... Victoria bumps my shoulder with hers, and I have to press my hands back against the grass to keep my balance. Yours is the superior option. Geez, if you say it like that, you're gonna make me blush. Ugh, you're such a dork. You did a good job, and I'm just pointing it out. So are you going to submit it, or not? Victoria demands curtly, and I see her bend her leg slightly, digging her heel into the grass. She seems really intent on making sure this happens. I almost feel breathless at the trust she's given me. Okay, if you really think I should, then I will. I agree quietly, and that's when I feel it. The way Victoria loosens up, muscles almost melting against me at my affirmation of her demand. I gently bump her shoulder with mine, letting her know that I'm here. I wouldn't say no. Good. If we don't win, I'm skinning you alive. A laugh bubbles out of my throat and Victoria joins me. Wow, okay, aggressive much? Only a little. Do you think I'm joking? Rolling my eyes, I reach over to take the photo in my hands, running my thumbs over it. The sun feels warm, the grass is soft, and Victoria is a better heater than her ice-cold demeanor would usually suggest. I let myself sink against her side. She rests her arm behind my back, palm flat against the grass, almost as if she's getting just as comfortable as I am. I don't know, Victoria. I think you're warming up to me. It's quiet for a few beats, and I wonder about the lack of a response, of another thinly veiled insult or snappy remark. You'd like that, wouldn't you? She finally counters, challenging me. When I respond, I don't even have to think about it. Maybe I would. Friday! Give me journal. Go on, get the thing loaded, ready? Dun-dun-dun-dun. Okay, journal time. Okay, where were we? Alright, cookies. Alright. Alright, I mean, I'm not totally clueless. I've always just assumed that Victoria's bad attitude comes from her insecurity. Like she has to put others down to raise herself up. I thought it was just because she's mean, but there's another side to her. I'm not saying that she's a nice person, but maybe she's not completely awful. She's actually really cool sometimes, and she has a sort of fun side in a scary way. And we both have really similar goals. She's a lot more cutthroat about it, but we want a lot of the same things. The photo I wound up taking of her is a totally candid shot. She wasn't ready for it at all, and that's what makes it a great photograph. that she's totally unguarded and unprepared, a Victoria that's not putting on a show. October 10th later. So, things took a super tense turn. We went back to school to look over the photos we took today, and Victoria told me that we should submit mine, that none of hers were special. I really must be on a different planet, or in a different reality. The insecurity's not a surprise, but her actually saying something like that to my actual face? Biggest wowzer heart attack ever. Drawing of lilies. I just agreed, because it's what Victoria really seemed to want, even though I felt bad about it, and completely confused. But she was relieved. It was like I'd taken some load off her shoulders, and she could finally relax and let go of the burden. So that's what's going to happen. We're submitting my photo instead of hers. If you told me at the beginning of this week where I'd be ending up with Victoria now, I would have laughed, or probably screamed until I passed out. But things have changed. I think I might actually like Victoria. Fuck. Picture of Max dressed up in a mixed dog outfit. Work hard, mustard big. Alright. It is Friday. It is the final day. Here we go. Alright. I arrived to my class much earlier than anticipated, too strung up to stand laying in my bed any longer than I already did. Not like I really got much sleep anyways. I'm positive I spent half the night just scrolling through my feed, watching acoustic guitar covers in some lame attempt to calm myself. Victoria had texted me this morning, reminding me to wake up, as if I wouldn't do it on my own. By this point, I'm pretty sure those are just her nerves acting up too. I haven't seen her all morning, not even in the shower room. And she's not even here right now. Huh. I find that a little unusual. The class isn't empty, full of people I assume are just as anxious as me, and Victoria isn't here? I can't help myself. I pull out my phone. Are you sure you're not the one who needed a wake-up call? Haha, very funny. Are you in class right now? I am, and it's pretty packed. We're not the only ones worried, I guess. Definitely not. I bring my attention back to the classroom as a whole, watching everyone else with rapt attention. Everyone's chatting, but it seems a lot quieter than usual despite that. Where are you? Calm down, Max. I'll be there. I know you will. I'm just curious. I went out to get some breakfast with Taylor. No invite. I bite my lip to subdue the smile on my face, but I've got to admit, breakfast sounds so good right now. I'd been so plagued by my nerves that I didn't even think I could eat, with the white butterflies had been gnawing on my stomach. Ugh. Now I'm kind of regretting that. To be fair, I didn't think you'd be awake yet. I thought you'd just as much sleep as you can get. I blink in surprise at my phone before smiling and leaning back in my seat. Wowzers. Before this, I would have thought she was being sarcastic about that. Now I can definitely tell she's being real with me. Thanks. I didn't really get that much sleep, though. I thought as much. Don't worry, I didn't either. At least you're getting breakfast to wake you up. Where'd you go? You know the cafe down the street? Ooh, went to grab a nice caramel macchiato? I actually prefer vanilla lattes, but nice try. I cover my mouth, grinning at the screen in amusement. I'll remember that. Sure you will. Give me a sec. Guess that means Victoria's on her way. With nothing else to distract me with, since Chloe's not even here yet, and Kate seems busy chatting with Alyssa, I rifle through my bag. My fingers graze the folder our contest photos in, and I feel my heart skitter in my chest, all the way up to my throat. Oh man, I don't know if I'm ready to turn this in yet. I pull it out, sliding my thumb down the edge. Suddenly, someone drops a white paper bag onto my desk, and I nearly drop the folder when I feel a hand settle on my back. Ah! Holy shit, chill! Victoria's face comes into view, and she pulls her hand away from my back, quirking a brow up at me. Taylor's standing right behind her, although all she does is flash me a coy smile, winking at me before sliding away to her own desk. That leaves me at least 50 times more surprised. I don't know what to make of that. Victoria leans her hip against my desk. You okay? You look like you're going to shit a brick. You scared me, you jerk! Flashing me her teeth in a practiced smile, she just takes a sip from the drink in her hand. I wonder if it really is a vanilla latte. Hey, I just came to say hello. That, and I brought you something. She gestures to the paper bag on my desk, and upon closer inspection, I realize it's from the bakery down the street. You brought me something? It's no two whales breakfast, but check it out. I sweep it off my desk, reaching in only to pull out a nice warm croissant. My stomach rumbles at the sight. You got me bread. It's a croissant, Max. She sounds exasperated and I grin. Thanks. I wasn't expecting this. Victoria just gives me a non-committal shrug, taking another sip of her latte. I thought you'd probably do something dumb like skip breakfast. Being anxious on an empty stomach fucking blows. Thanks, again. You didn't have to. I just want to make sure you're not, like, dying. Don't worry so much. I'm not planning on it. I take a bite out of the croissant, sighing contently. It's no two whales, but it's something. Victoria checks her phone, glancing over my shoulder, right where her seat is. I follow her gaze over to Courtney and Taylor. You can go back to your friends if you want. She makes a face at that, sucking at her own teeth. They can wait. She says this offhandedly, like she didn't just put me before her buddies. How nervous are you? The golden question. By now I'm positive she knows just how I'm feeling. A bunch. I mumble, but honestly, I do feel a little better that Victoria's here. Not surprised. I am too. Victoria sighs and opens her mouth to say something else, but before she does, I hear Courtney call out for her again, and she thins her lips out and sighs in minute aggravation. It just makes me smile. You should go. They're waiting, and I'm pretty sure you already spent enough time with me. Oh, please. You say that like it's a bad thing. My eyebrows rocket up, and I almost choke on my croissant. Victoria's eyes widen, and she reaches forward, touching my back. What? Hey, don't die on me now. Sorry. I just wasn't expecting you to say that. So you do like spending time with me? I ask for clarification, and Victoria clears her throat and shifts on her feet. Wouldn't be here if I didn't. Consider yourself lucky. I do. After a long sigh, Victoria backs away from my desk. I guess you're right. I'd better go placate them before they start whining later. Right. Victoria turns to go, not before pausing for another instant. Oh, and Max? Save me a seat next to you. Oh, I didn't think she'd actually want to sit next to me, but that makes me feel a lot more at ease too. I will! I definitely will. As I say that, I already dropped my messenger bag onto the seat next to me. Victoria smiles in satisfaction. Thought so. With that said, Victoria turns and saunters away, back to her own desk. I still have time before class starts. I guess I should check in on everyone else. I've been so busy this week I've hardly even spoken to anyone else. Oh my goodness! Let's talk to Chloe. Stop my heart. Is that Maxine Caulfield? Oh, don't even start. And don't call me Maxine. Relax. I figured you might be going by that now, as the Vortex Queen's sidekick. I'm no one's sidekick. Don't I know it? I bet you've got her on a leash by now. Not quite. Unfortunate. You know, Rachel literally didn't believe you two were working together. She owes me $20 now. Not that I'm not baffled by it either. Did you have, like, a momentary seizure or something? Do you distinctly remember asking her to work with you? She's a really talented photographer, Chloe. It was cool to work on a project like this with her. Sneaky. Gotta establish those connections. She's actually not that bad, you know. God damn it, Max. I knew you'd do this. You're way too accepting of people. Seriously, Victoria Chase? Seriously, Victoria Chase. She's not awful, Chloe. Yeah, I'm not convinced. Still though, you guys are for sure going to win. And once you do, Rachel and I are taking you out. Sans your bitter girlfriend. She's not my... Yeah, but really, the dream team's gotta go out this weekend, alright? Can't wait to celebrate you, and catch you up on what you've missed all week cavorting with Victoria. Alright, you pain, it's a date. Talk to you later. Alright, let's get Rachel's side of the story. Hey, Max. Are my eyes deceiving me? Are you working with Victoria Chase? Well, yeah. Fuck me, I just lost $20 to Chloe. I thought we were both tripping when we kept seeing you everywhere with her this week. You may or may not have been tripping, but you definitely didn't imagine seeing me with Victoria. Hey, more flies with honey, right? Although I wouldn't really call Victoria a fly, more like a feral cat. Believe it or not, she's been, well, full of surprises this week. You look pretty happy about that. Okay, we don't have to keep talking about you. Let's talk about me. Kidding, but I do have some big news. News? I'll drop the bomb later. Much later. When you're done being distracted with Miss Chase over here. Which, seeing as you're probably going to win the contest, might be never. You're way more confident about us winning than I am. Who knows? Maybe when all three of us are famous, we can all work together. I'm thinking, badass art film? The set drama between me and Victoria would be iconic. Iconic? More like murderous. You should run the idea by her while you're celebrating your victory with crystal and crumpets, or however it goes in the Chase tradition. Rachel! I'm just making fun. Class is about to start anyway. Chloe and I'll come by later if you're not, busy. We both want all the details of your week. I'll try. Kate, beloved, Angel Kate. Max, hi. It's good to see you. You too, Kate. Nice to see a friendly face after my week with Victoria. Victoria Chase was your partner? As in, she actually chose to work with you? Stranger things have happened, I guess. Tell me about it. I was surprised too. How did it go? Well, it was scary. At first, definitely. But it was still really cool working with her. Not only is she crazy talented, but I think she might actually have a soul. And I think we both enjoyed working together. Either that, or I just got played hard. I'm sure she's being sincere. Everyone has a soul, Max, even if they try to hide it. I wouldn't have believed it before this week, honestly. You can't judge a book by its cover, right? Victoria has a cold exterior, but I think even she can be nice. When she wants to be. It's possible, I think. Well, if anyone can bring out Victoria Chase's good side, it's you. Maybe you can convince her to smile more often. I can't promise anything. Even I can't tell Victoria what to do. Miracles happen every day, Max. You're always looking on the bright side, huh? Sure. Anyway, I won't keep you, but let's grab a cup of tea later, okay? I'd love that. Alright. I know you're all excited, but I need to have you all seated. Have I got everyone's photos? Everyone's eyes are on Mick's dog as they shuffle through the photos spread out on their desk. I'm really impressed by the amount of students that have entered this year. About half of every class has put an entry in. And now, with these, I can finally start deliberations. Lucky for you all, that means that you can use this period to study. The hum of chatter starts up immediately, quietly, and then dies down with some protests and groans. I'm kinda thankful for the opportunity. I put my head down and open my textbook, although I try to focus, it's pretty hard. I guess Victoria and I aren't the only ones hoping to win. It feels like the longest hour of my life. Every time Mick's dog moves at their desk, I think they're about to announce the winners, and I jump a little. When they finally do stand up, clipboard in hand, I go rigid in my seat. I catch Victoria's gaze. She offers me an encouraging nod, expression serious. I know she's every bit as nervous as I am, but if she's still putting her trust in me, I'm sure we can do this. Goodness, this was so difficult. I know that the deadline was short and that a lot of you devoted much of your free time this week to your entry. I truly wish that I could award more than one winner. The theme of the contest, Bonds, was a broad concept, and I'm thrilled to see so many different interpretations of it here. That's what photography is all about. Personal expression, showing the world the way that you see things. That said, there is one entry in particular that truly embraced this theme. Here, the photographer showcases the impeccable essence of mundane human connection, further highlighted by the backdrop of those experiencing the same. My heart skips a beat. Or 10. There's no way they're talking about our photo. The unique vision of this novice photographer makes me think that we'll see some amazing things from them in the future, and hopefully they'll continue collaborating with their partner. So I'm extra pleased to announce that the winners of the second annual Blackwell Photo Contest are Maxine Caulfield and Victoria Chase. Congratulations! We won? It seriously doesn't sink in, not even when I hear all the applause from everyone and Chloe's super obnoxious whistling. I feel shocked to my seat. None of it feels real, not even when I watch Mick's dog pin our photo to the board. Max! I turn to face Victoria, and now the rush hits me all at once. All the applause, the fact that Mick's dog had called out both our names with such pride. We won! We seriously won, me and Victoria, working together! It's so wild that I feel like I'm in a dream. And I pull Victoria in a hug out of instinct, feeling her totally stiffen up in my grip. Oh my god! She groans loudly, and all I can do is laugh in disbelief, going to pull away from her quickly. She stops me by slipping her arm around my shoulders and squeezing gently, right before pulling away from me. I grin at her, cheeks flushed with excitement, and she smirks slightly at me. You're so embarrassing. Sorry, She stops me with a snort, just grasping my shoulder and shaking me very gently. I know, we fucking won! Just as I said we would. I couldn't be any happier right now. It feels like I'm floating. I feel like I can do anything. All my nerves are on fire with adrenaline, and I've never been so proud. It all makes me think how crazy it was, all the worrying I did. I'm so glad to have had Victoria on my side, goading me on. I don't think I could have done it without her, not at all. Victoria's watching me, and she leans back with a tight smile. I told you we could do it. I know, I shouldn't have doubted you. It's just... God, I can't believe it. We did it, Victoria. Victoria's eyebrow twitches, and I can't read the expression on her face. And then she eyes the area behind me, and it takes me a second to realize that she's locked eyes with Chloe, and by extension, Rachel. They're all glaring at each other, and it takes a lot for me to suppress a groan. I slip my hand into Victoria's and squeeze. Victoria rips her gaze off them and offers me another tight smile, forced. You look like you have a few people who want to congratulate you. Should be congratulating us, both of us. I state this honestly, fiercely, and Victoria pauses and shakes her head, scoffing. Hardly. You should come with me to say hi. An awkward grimace marks her face for a second, and then it's gone. An unwise decision, Max. But you go ahead. Find me afterwards. The bell rings, signaling the end of class, and therefore the end of my class-wide victory party. I do stand up, going to talk to the others, and Victoria walks the other way, heading to Taylor and Courtney. I glance over my shoulder at her, but I can't help but feel like something's off. Right before I'm distracted by another round of congratulations, of course. By the time it's all up, I'm sure a solid 10 minutes have gone by. When I check over my shoulder, Victoria's not there anymore. It makes me worry, even if it's probably nothing. Plus, she told me to find her, and I'm going to do just that. After all, it wouldn't be right if we didn't celebrate our win, together. It took me a while to figure out where Victoria disappeared off to, since I hadn't seen her out in the courtyard, or even in the halls. That really only leaves one place, especially since I'd peeked out into the parking lot and her car had still been there. Not that I think Victoria would leave me. Why would she, when she specifically told me to find her? Now I'm standing in the dorm hall, and I pause mid-step when I spot the door to her room cracked open, almost as if she intentionally left it that way. I don't hesitate at all. I'm heading over to her door and opening it. I peer inside Victoria's room, gripping the edge of her doorframe. As expected, she's there, sitting on her bed, holding something tightly in her hands. I try to get a good look, but from my position it's not exactly easy. Her gaze is unexpectedly hard as I tiptoe my way in, shutting the door softly behind me. Victoria? Victoria tenses up when I call out for her, prying her eyes off the thick book in her hands. She blinks, then sighs. There you are. Couldn't even knock. I wasn't sure if I should. Your door was open anyways. I'm kidding. I'm not upset. It was open for a reason. I just didn't think you'd show up so quickly. It was open, just for me. I crossed over to her bed, and Victoria directs her attention back to whatever it is she's holding. It takes me a second to realize that's her portfolio. It looks so thick. She must have a lot in there already. Despite myself, I grow a little worried at the sight. The tense set of her shoulders and serious slant of her eyes make me wonder if she's upset. I would have shown up quicker, it's just, everyone wanted to congratulate me. A briefly amused snort escapes Victoria's lips, and she pats the spot next to her. On a scale of 1 to 10, how uncomfortable did that praise make you? A solid 7, mostly because my partner wasn't there to share it with me. I take a seat next to her, the bed bouncing a little at the way I drop myself onto it. Victoria clicks her tongue and shrugs. You didn't need me to share it with you. Something about the way Victoria says that throws me off. It's resigned, as if she thinks she hasn't had any effect on any of this, and she's just taking it. What do you mean? You're my partner, Victoria. I couldn't have done it without you. Please, that win was all on you, Max. Victoria slightly turned away from me, like she's trying to shield herself from me. My heart clenches in my chest at the sight. Does she seriously think she's had no part in this? No way. Victoria, you've had everything to do with this. We both did this. Victoria shuts her eyes and huffs, placing her portfolio back down on her lap. No, Max, that was your photograph that won. And you were the one who helped me take it. I mean, is that what you're so upset about? Victoria catches my gaze from the side, and her lip twitches, as if something about that bothers her. I'm not upset about it. You deserved it. I'm just saying that I'm not going to take credit for something you did. And I'm saying that's bullshit, Victoria. I can't help it. The words are flying out of my mouth before I have the chance to stop them. Maybe it's because Victoria's being ridiculous. Maybe it's because I can't stand the sight of Victoria putting herself down so easily. Victoria straightens up like a bullet at my words, turning to watch me with wide eyes. Excuse me? I almost think that maybe I've gone too far, but I suck it up. I can't waver, not now. I said that's bullshit, okay? This whole time you've been goading me on. Without you, I don't think I would have even been so confident submitting anything today. Victoria's eyes narrow, and then she licks her lips, waiting for me to continue. So, excuse me if I think it's really ridiculous that you're not giving yourself even a little credit. Even if it's not your photograph. Like I said, without you it wouldn't even exist. Victoria doesn't say anything, and for an instant I really am sure that I've said too much. But I don't regret it. Victoria needs to hear how important she is. Even if it's from some dorky hipster. Even if it's from someone that I'm pretty sure she's used to just competing against. Victoria needs to know that she's just as important, just as amazing as I've learned she is this week. Okay. Jesus, Max, I've never seen you so passionate. Victoria's eyes lock onto my face, and I suddenly feel very small at the way she's looking at me. Her face is totally unreadable too. All that bravado I felt from before feels like a total dream, like someone else was in charge of my body, stringing me along. Yeah. I force myself to speak anyways, and I just bite the inside of my cheek, curling my toes up in my sneakers. You just needed to know, like really needed to know. Victoria inhales deeply through her nose, and then she pries her gaze off of me. I still can't tell what she's thinking. Regardless, you do remember what I was saying about my portfolio? Yeah, I remember. Even if... She stops, shrugs. Even though I might be a big part of it, it's not like I can use it. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Clearly. Not that I hold it against you. Too busy being showered in affection. Victoria smirks, clearing her throat right after. But... I suppose that just means it's not time for me to submit this just yet. After all, none of the pictures I took are worth putting in here. My gaze is drawn back to the wide book in her hands. It's leather-bound. I wouldn't expect anything less from Victoria Chase. It looks so intimidating, and I bet whatever's inside is amazing. Maybe it does, but knowing you, Victoria, I'm positive whatever's in there is amazing. Okay, now you just have too much faith in me. Never, I'm totally serious. Victoria smiles briefly, and I reach out, brushing my hand against the side of hers. The contact feels almost electric. Victoria, on the other hand, stiffens up slightly. Can I see? I'd be stoked to see what you have in there. What, so you can shower me in more praise? There's this soft sarcasm in her voice, and I roll my eyes and beam at her. Maybe. Victoria seems to freeze, scoffing and handing it over to me. I take it gently, my heart full knowing that she trusts me with it. When I open it, I'm already astounded by the quality of the work within it. As expected, Victoria is so remarkable. I think I'd almost be jealous if we hadn't hung out together this whole week. I can almost hear myself now. How can someone so awful have such an amazing portfolio? Only now I know Victoria's not awful. She's just insecure. As I flip through each of the pages, I realize Victoria's gone super quiet. I glance back up at her, just to see her biting her lip, hands pressed against her skirt. Victoria, these are... Wowzer. You've got such an amazing eye. You think so? They're just my best ones, but honestly, they could be better. I shake my head immediately, returning my gaze to the book, right as I see Victoria swallow nervously. No, for real, I mean it. I never get to see your stuff, aside from like some assignments, but all of these are on a whole other level. Victoria shifts next to me, and I feel her knee bump against mine. Thanks, Max. No problem. I'm almost to the end of the thick book, though when I turn the page, I spot a photograph that makes my breath pause in my chest, my cheeks flushing, my heart does a double take in my chest. It's the picture of me yesterday, holding my camera in one hand and our winning contest photo in the other. Just like Victoria's, the pedestrians are all lined up behind me, but what I think sticks out the most is the dorky smile I have. Victoria! I can't help the surprised quality to my voice, and I look up from the photo to Victoria, who's steadily going pink. Oh god, you weren't supposed to... Victoria covers her mouth with her hand and reaches over to shut the book. Instead of letting her, I grasp her hand. I thought you said none of the pictures you took yesterday were worth putting in here. I manage to say it, even though I'm positive I'm just as red as Victoria is. Still, I have to admit, the way my heart is beating isn't just because of shock. The fact that Victoria went and developed my photo, and it's in here... I did say that, didn't I? Victoria closes her eyes and sighs deeply. It's a good photo, that's it. Victoria defends lamely, tone blunt as she tries to downplay her total embarrassment at being caught. I, on the other hand, can't stop smiling. All I'm thinking about is what it could mean. Don't get too ahead of yourself, Max. It's just... wowzer, I can't believe I'm in this. Well, you are, so... I want to say something else, to tell her how amazing I think it is, but she seems really embarrassed. She won't even meet my eyes. I just closed the portfolio. I hope you don't mind me injecting my opinion, but... Please, as if I could stop you from saying anything at this point. Victoria gains some of her bite back, and it makes me laugh a little, even though I feel like something shifted in the atmosphere around us. I think it's amazing. I think you should definitely give it a shot and submit this to that gallery. What? You can't be serious. It's not ready. It might never be ready, Victoria. I mean, what are the chances of you getting it to be totally perfect? And you'll never know if it's ready or not if you don't give it a shot. When did you get so wise, Max? She sniffs, raising a brow at me. All I can do is shrug. Maybe I learned a few things this week. You're welcome. Wow, who said I was talking about you? We both share an amused glance, and then Victoria goes serious once more, studying me. Okay, I will, but on one condition, Max. One condition? Like what? I want you to help me. For a second, I'm totally surprised by what she's getting at, and I swallow thickly. Help you? Like... You heard me. Just, going through my stuff. Being my second opinion. Because, as you so clearly stated, I'm apparently a poor judge on my own. No kidding. I joke carefully, although I'm floored by Victoria's demand. I fist my hands against my jeans, really thinking about it. And I decide that I'd love to help Victoria. In fact, I'd already been thinking it before. I just wasn't sure if I should ask. It'd be good for the two of us, I think. Is Victoria Chase actually asking me for help? Max? Victoria says my name dangerously, and I just smile at her. I'm kidding, mostly. But yeah, of course. I'd love that. Good. Victoria relaxes, and I watch her exhale softly, gently. And it won't just be you helping me. I'll do the same for you too, you know. You will? I don't mean to sound so surprised. I guess I never do. But all Victoria does is nod, reaching out for her portfolio and resting her hand next to mine. Duh, I can't just leave you by yourself. If I didn't, God knows when you'd put your work out there. Hey! My chest rumbles with my slight laughter as Victoria teasingly jostles my shoulder with hers. Untrue, but okay. I'd like that. Victoria hums softly, and I turn to stare at her. She's giving me the same stare as earlier, serious, and I can't read it, not for a minute. It's almost as if she's searching for something. For the third time in the past 30 minutes, my heart does its thing again. I think I see her eyes dip down to my face, and I open my lips to say something, furrowing my brows. And suddenly she's kissing me so quickly it's almost jarring. I'm pretty sure our teeth knock into each other, but it's offset by how soft her lips are, by how much my head spins. I'm so shocked. I don't even have the chance to respond when she pulls away, breath staggered against my lips. Oh. As if I could come up with anything less coherent. I'm still trying to get a grip, trying to realize that Victoria Chase just kissed me. All I can see on her expression is the gnawing worry present in that cute crease between her eyebrows. Fuck, Victoria's jaw tenses, locks up, and I realize she's trying to backpedal out of this. So, naturally, I react on instinct. And kiss her back! Yay! I reach forward, pressing another kiss to her lips. It's firmer. I make sure it's firmer, confident, positive. My chest feels like it's going to explode. The way Victoria grasps against my lips doesn't do a thing to calm the patter of my heart, and that's okay. After a moment, I pull away, and I manage a shaky laugh that Victoria returns. That could have gone a lot better for our first kiss. Oh, fuck off. I was just a little nervous. I can tell. Victoria rolls her eyes, and then she leans forward again, our noses brushing. The high flush in her cheeks makes her look even more gorgeous, I think. This time, I slip my hand into her cheek, brushing the back of her ear. Victoria's hand settles against my side, and I can feel the nervous tremble of her fingers. Whatever. We can work on that as long as we need to. Definitely. This time, when we kiss, we're both ready for it. Achievement unlocked. Yay! Alright, am I still able to get to the journal? Oh, I wanted to read the journal. I wanted to read the journal for the final day. Alright, credit roll! Alright, so that concludes the third run of Love is Strange for me. We went Kate, we went Chloe, and we just had some significant success pursuing Miss Victoria Chase. Let's see. Alright, so we have Max's room. We have Chloe's room. We have Kate's room with the bunny. We have Victoria's room. Daylight. I feel like there was two versions of her room. There was a daylight one and a nighttime one. Ah, there it is. There's the nighttime one. I like the nighttime one. It's so pretty. So pretty. Alright, the courtyard, we've had the classroom, we've had the parking lot at day and at night. The hallway's old. Bathroom's old. Downtown was new. Victoria's route had a lot of scenery. The pier was pretty common. I think like you go there no matter what, whether Max is shopping for supplies or that's where the photo shoot was. Alright. The hospital was from Kate's. The Two Whales seems to be a Tuesday morning location no matter what you pick. The beach was with Chloe. Look at all these extra ones we're still missing. And the junkyard. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 left. Still to unlock. And I've only got one perfect romance left to go. And that's with Rachel. And then I get to screw up 4 times and then try to seriously bomb, like so hard, one time. Which is apparently really difficult from what little I've read. I've tried not to read too much, but alright, so here's our Kate photo that won. There's the Victoria photo that won. Here's the Chloe photo that won. Noticing a trend here. Whoever you partner with, they end up being the subject of Max's photo. Alright, endings. That's the Victoria. That's the Chloe. I'm guessing it goes to Victoria good, Victoria bad, Rachel good, Rachel bad, Chloe good, Chloe bad, Kate good, Kate bad, and then the ultimate bad. And then bonus. Here's our other bonus photo. This is the first one we unlocked, which was Rachel running away with Lisa the plant, which was hilarious. And then this one we unlocked today. And I'm not quite sure what's happening in this picture. I don't know who these people are. But I believe that is all of our goodies. So if you're still out there watching, thank you for tuning in. If you're not out there watching, I hope you're having a lovely evening, and I will see everyone next time. So, good evening, Sina streamers. Until next time.